into 10 raised to power minus 7 here. I also adjust this. So minus 6. So microamperes. We are getting current in the microamperes and the value would be 8.85 into pi.
1 by Ka. So the concentration of HCN over the concentration of H positive into the concentration of Cn negative.
The value at 0 is already 10, that is positive. Now we can check value at x is equal to minus 1.
Hello dear students, my name is Vikas Agarwal and I am discussing the physics section of JMMT-08. Let's begin. So the first question here says that the value of the current in the 6 ohm resistor is. Now, if we think about the 6 ohm resistor, we can consider, like if we think about these points x and y, we can consider that we have two batteries, one of 140 volt and 20 ohm internal resistance, and the other of 90 volt EMF and 5 ohm internal resistance, and these are connected parallelly to each other across the point x and y. So I will try to find out the E equivalent. The formula for E equivalent is R1 E1 by R1 plus E2 by R2 divided by 1 upon R1 plus 1 upon R2. So I'm going to use this. So E1 is, let's say, 140. So 140 divided by 20 plus 90 divided by 5 upon 1 upon 20 plus 1 upon 5. This is the calculation that we need to finish. Let me do it here. So 140 by 20 becomes 7. Okay, and 90 by 5 becomes 18. Okay, so that divided by 1 upon 20 plus 1 upon 5. So taking 20 as the LCM, this will become 1 plus 4. Okay, so ultimately it becomes 25 into 20 by 5. So that becomes 100 volts. So EMF is 100 volts. Now, as far as the internal resistance is considered, R equivalent will be found using R1, R2 upon R1 plus R2. So this will turn out to be 20 into 5 divided by 20 plus 5. So this becomes 4 ohms. Okay. So ultimately, we can now say that we have a 6 ohm resistor, and across the 6 ohm resistor, across the point XY, we have a battery of EMF 100 volt with an internal resistance of 4 ohm. Okay, so under these circumstances, the current flowing through the 6 ohm resistor would be 100 divided by 10, that is 10 ampere. So 10 ampere would be the final answer. So option C is the right answer to this question. And that we now move to the second question. It says a steel block of 10 kg rests on a horizontal floor as shown. When three iron cylinders are placed on it as shown, the block and the cylinders go down with an acceleration of 0.2 meter per second square. The normal reaction by the floor if the mass of the iron cylinders are equal and of 20 kg each. So guys, ultimately what we can say that we have a single system with this boundary. Okay, we have a single system with this boundary and the mass of this system is 10 plus 3 times of 20. Okay, so the mass would be 10 plus 3 into 20. So that would be 70 kg. So that is the mass. Okay, so if the floor is exerting a normal reaction of R and the entire system is going down with an acceleration of 0.2, we will write capital M into G, where this value denotes capital M. Minus R is equals to capital M into the acceleration, and from here we can find out the value of R as M into G minus A. So we will finish the calculation now. M is 70, G is given to be 10, so 10 minus 0.2. So this becomes 70 into 9.8, which would be like 7 into 98. So this should be close to 686. Okay, so 700 minus 40, so 686 should be the correct value. So option B would be the right answer here. Next, we go to question number 53. This says that AC voltage of 20 sine omega t of frequency 50 hertz is applied to a parallel plate capacitor. The separation between the plate is given and the area is given. So that will allow us to calculate the capacitance, the amplitude of the oscillating displacement current for the applied AC voltages. Now, the point to keep in mind here is that the displacement current and the conduction current in this circuit would be same. So we just need to find out the peak value. The peak value of the alternating current. That's what we want to do. So I will first focus on calculating the value of XC. Okay, so XC would be 1 upon omega C, and 1 upon omega. Omega can be written as 2 pi F. So it will become 100 pi. Okay, because frequency is 50 into 1 upon C. So that would become separation upon A epsilon. All right, so the separation D is given to us as 2 millimeters, so 2 into 10 raised to the power minus 3. Then area is given as 1 meter square. Epsilon naught is given as 8.85 into 10 raised to the power minus 12. Okay, and then we have 100 pi. We have to divide with 100 pi. So this is the capacitance. Okay, this is the capacitance. This is Xe. Now the amplitude of the oscillating displacement current. So the amplitude, the maximum current will be given by the peak value of the voltage, which is 20 divided by Xe. So this calculation will become 20 into 8.85 into pi into 10 raised to power minus 10. I've adjusted this minus 12 in this. Okay, so 20 divided by 2 into 10 raised to power minus 3. So now we have to finish this calculation. So Let me change the color of the pen. So here I see there is no pi in the option, so we will have to substitute the value of pi. So this 2 gets cancelled with this 20. I get a 10 here, and this gets cancelled. I get a 10 raised to power minus 7 here. I also adjust this, so minus 6. So microamperes, we are getting current in the microamperes, and the value would be 8.85 into pi. All right, so I'm looking something in excess of 24 something. So 27.79 looks to be the closest option that we will get when we multiply these two. So 27.79 should be the right answer. All right. Then we go to question number 54. It says region 1 and 2 are separated by a spherical surface of radius 25 centimeter. An object is kept in a region at a distance of 40 centimeter from the surface. The distance of the image from the surface is. All right. It's a very simple question which is actually based on the concept of refraction at a spherical interface. So the formula for that is mu2 by v minus mu1 by u is equals to mu2 minus mu1 by r. Now mu2 is given as 1.4. V is what we have to find out. Mu1 is 1 here. No, mu1 is 1.25. 1.25 and object distance would be minus 40. All right, and then mu2 minus mu1 will become 0.15, and then radius is 25 centimeter, and the center of curvature is in the first medium, so minus 25. I'm keeping everything in centimeters. So we have to finish this calculation to get the value of V, and that would be our answer. Let's try to do that. So 1.4 into V is equals to, this will become minus 15 upon 25 into 100, and I will take it on the other side. It will become minus 1.25 upon 40. All right, so this is what we have to finish. So this will become minus 3 upon 500, and this will become minus, let's say, 125 upon 40 into 100. Now let's see what all things we can cancel out. Um, I'll change the color so that I know what I'm writing. So 25 times of 5 and 25 times of 4. Okay, so this is something that we are getting. And now next step, we can say we can take out minus as the common quantity. So 3 by 500 and plus 5 upon 140. Okay, which I can write, okay, 5 upon 160 actually. Okay, so this is what we are getting. And next, when we finish this calculation, I'm leaving it up here now, guys. You can finish the calculation. On finishing the calculation, you will get 37.58. I have already tried that. I know the answers are given are correct. So this value is what you are going to get. Next, we move to this question. It says a person of 100 kg mass, okay, travels from Earth to Mars in a spaceship. Now, guys, the point to keep in mind here is that when you are traveling from any one planet to any another planet, let's say this is Earth and you are traveling to any another planet, let's say Mars, okay. So here you would be pulled towards Earth, okay. As you move away from the Earth, there would be a point called the null point, where there would be zero, there would be the gravitational field would be zero there. So here you will feel weightlessness, and after that you will start getting pulled towards the Mars. So there would be only one point. There would be a solitary point where you would experience weightlessness. And in all these graphs, only graph C depicts that the weight becomes zero at one position, and then it again becomes non-zero. Not only that, at the surface of Earth, the value of G is 10. At the surface of Mars, it is given to be 4. So at the surface of Earth, the weight should be 1000 Newton, which is given here. At the surface of Mars, the weight should be 400 Newton, which should be given here. In fact, all the graphs, they start from the same value, they start end at the same value. So you just have to check that which graph touches zero. So option C would be the right one here. And mind you guys, the options are jumbled here. You know, when you see that I want to mark option C as the answer, don't mark C here. All right, it is the curve C, which is given in option A. So option A would be the correct here because option A gives the curve C. Okay, so that is a mistake that many students will make in this question. I'm very sure of that. Okay, now let's come to the next question. A deuteron and an alpha particle having equal kinetic energy enter perpendicular into a magnetic field. The radius of their respective. Okay, so radius of deuteron is to radius of alpha. Now, radius is given by mv by qb, but here we are talking about particles having equal kinetic energy. So momentum can be converted into root 2 mk, and then we divide with qb. Okay, so when I'm going to take the ratio, things which are going to be same for both the particles, the two will be same. Kinetic energy is given to be same, magnetic field is given to be same. So this ratio will be governed by the ratio of root of mass upon charge. Okay, so here I will substitute mass of neutron and charge of neutron. Here I will substitute mass of alpha particle and charge of alpha particle. So let's do it here. So mass of neutron would be 2 units, let's say 2 AMU, and charge of neutron would be 1 times the E. All right, so things which are going to get cancelled, I'm not writing them. Mass of alpha particle would be 4 AMU, and the charge would be 2 times of E. So this will become root 2 is to 1. Okay, so root 2 is going to be the answer. So option B will be the right answer here. Next, we go to question number 57. It says a nucleus of mass M emits gamma ray photon of frequency this much, the loss in internal energy of the nucleus. Now, guys, what is important here is to understand that let's say this was the nucleus, and then what happened is that it emitted a gamma ray photon of frequency h nu, so the energy would be this much. All right, and it will receive a recoil in the backward direction, so to take care of the momentum conservation, which also means that it will also have some kind of kinetic energy. Okay, so the momentum of the nucleus will be same as the momentum of the photon, which is written as h nu by c. All right, so this is the momentum of the nucleus. So the kinetic energy of the nucleus, it would be p square by 2m. Okay, so it will become h square nu square by c square into 2m. So this is the kinetic energy. So the overall release of energy that has taken place from the nucleus is the energy of the photon plus the kinetic energy that now the nucleus is having. So the overall release of energy is equal to the amount by which the internal energy has decreased. So the loss in internal energy should actually be the energy of the photon plus the kinetic energy acquired by the nucleus. So from here you can now see which option is going to be correct. So option D looks like the correct one. Okay, next we go to question number 58. It says a charge Q be divided into two parts. How should the charges be? So guys, the question is like we have a charge Q and we want to split it into two parts. We want to split it into two parts, Q and Q minus Q, and then we want to place them at a fixed distance apart. Like the distance is pre-decided. All right, and we want to ensure that the force, electric force between them is maximum. So the force would be written as K into capital Q minus small q upon R square. And what we are changing here is the division, is how we are dividing the two charges. Okay, we are not changing K, we are not changing R, and we want to maximize the value of force. So dF by dQ. All right, this should be zero. K is a constant, Q R square is a constant. Um, we will get the derivative of this. Actually, I miswrote something here. Here it would be not capital Q. Capital Q was the total charge. It would be small q and q minus q. All right, so this is. So I'm going to differentiate this now. I'm going to differentiate this. Here also I wrote it incorrect actually. That was the root cause. Okay. So I'm going to differentiate now. So this will become the derivative will become capital Q minus 2q, and when you equate it with 0, you get Q is equals to capital Q by 2. So this is going to give you the maximum force. Okay, or yeah, option B. Option B is what you're looking for. Next, we go to question number 59. It says a spaceship of mass this much is launched into a circular orbit close to the Earth's surface. The additional velocity to be imparted into the spaceship to overcome the gravitational pull. All right. So if the spaceship is already in orbit, then it must be having a speed of root gm by r. And if we now want to make it escape the surface of the Earth, then we need to change it to root 2. Root 2 gm by r. So the increase that we want to give is root 2 minus 1 into root of gm by r. All right, which can also be written as root 2 minus 1 into root of g into r. Okay, so r is given, g is given. So this will become root 2 minus 1 into, just a minute, guys. Um, yeah, root 2 minus 1. And then we will have 6400 into 10 raised to power 3 into 10 and root of this. Okay, so how much does that become? So 10 raised to power 3, 800. It becomes root 2 minus 1, and then from here we will get 8 out, and then 10 raised to power 6. So, okay. Mm, so this is in meter per second. This is in meter per second, so 8 kilometers. So A option would be the right one here, as we can see here. All right. Now let's move to the next question. This question says temperature at which the kinetic energy of oxygen molecule becomes double. Now, guys, the kinetic energy is proportional to temperature. All right. So we want to know that at 27 degrees Celsius, this temperature actually like T1. Okay, this is 300 Kelvin, and if we want to double the kinetic energy, we need to double the absolute temperature. So we are talking about 600 Kelvin, and 600 Kelvin in degrees Celsius will become 327. So that is going to be the answer. Straightforward question. Okay, next we go to question number 61. It says in a diatomic molecule, the rotational energy at a given temperature obeys Maxwell's distribution. Now, this part is correct. It does. Diatomic molecule, the rotational energy at a given temperature equals the translational kinetic energy. Now, that is wrong because in a diatomic molecule, the rotational energy, the rotational degrees of freedom are 2, whereas the translational degrees of freedom are 3, and each degree contributes equally. So these two energies are not equal. Therefore, statement 1 is true, but statement 2 is false. So option D would be the right statement here. Next, a sphere of radius a and mass m rolls along a horizontal plane with a constant speed v0. It encounters an inclined plane at an angle theta and climbs upward, assuming that it rolls without slipping. Now, guys, if there is a sphere which is rolling on a inclined surface without slipping, and there is no additional force apart from the force of gravity and normal and friction, then the acceleration is down the incline, and this acceleration is given by g sine theta divided by 1 plus I upon mr square. All right, now since we're talking about a sphere, then this will become G sine theta divided by 1 plus 2 by 5. It will become 2 by 5 because I is 2 by 5 mr square. So the acceleration will become 5g sine theta upon 7. Now the question says that how far will it travel? So if something is traveling with the speed u, it faces an acceleration in the opposite direction, then the distance covered by it, or the displacement is given by u square by 2a. So this is what we are going to use. So here it would be v square upon 2a. A is 5g sine theta into 7. So 7 by 10. 7 by 10 is the number that we are looking for. So option B looks to be the correct one. Okay. Next, we go to question number 63. It says a stone is dropped from the top of the building when it crosses the 5 meter, a 0.5 meter below the top. Another stone starts to fall from 0.25 meter below the top. Okay. So let's say this is a tower. Okay. Let's say this is a tower of height h. Okay. Now the question says that we have dropped a stone from the top of the tower, and when it has traveled 5 meters, so by this time it would already be having a speed of root 2 into g into 5. Okay. At that moment, we dropped another stone from a point which is 25 meters below the top. Okay, and these two stones reach simultaneously. These two stones have reached the ground simultaneously. So let's try to understand. So if I'm talking about the stone number one, okay, if I'm talking about the stone number one, or let's say the stone number two, the stone number two has fallen a height of h minus 25. So the time it will take to fall this height, that time will be given by root of 2 into height fallen, okay, divided by g. So this is the time taken by the second stone to fall, and this is the same time taken by the first stone to travel from this point to this point, and at this point it was already traveling with the speed of something something. So the displacement of the first stone during these t seconds is this, and how much is that? That is h minus 5 in the downward direction. I'm treating downward as positive, so the displacement is positive, and then initial velocity. So the velocity here would be treated as the initial velocity, so that would be root of 10g. Then time would be root of 2 into h minus 25 by g. All right, and then plus half into g into t square. T square will become 2 into h minus 25 by g. So now I have to finish this calculation. So let's see this. This g gets cancelled, this g and this g also gets cancelled. So we get h minus 5 is equals to, it becomes root of 20 into h minus 25. Okay, plus this 2 and this 2 gets cancelled, plus h minus 25. Okay, so this is the equation that we are getting. Now we have to solve this equation, and here also I can see this h, and this h will get cancelled. This 20 will move to the 25 will move to the other side, so it will become 20. So 20 is equals to root of 20 into h minus 25, and we can square on both the sides. So 20 into 20 is equals to 20 into h minus 25. So this 20 gets cancelled. So the value of h comes out to be 45 meter. So option C looks like the right answer. Okay, so option C is the right answer. Next, we go to question number 64. It says the stopping potential for electrons emitted from a photosensitive surface illuminated by light of wavelength 491 is this much. When the incident wavelength is changed to a new value, the stopping potential is this much. Okay, guys. So the stopping potential is related to frequency or wavelength like this. The energy of one photon, that is hc by lambda minus phi. Okay. What we are going to write, first the stopping potential was zero point 0.7. So 0.710 is equals to 1240 divided by 491. Okay, 491 minus 5. And in the second case, we are going to write 1.43 is equals to 1240 upon lambda. This lambda is what we are trying to find out minus. Now, when we take the difference, let's do equation number 2 minus equation number 1. When we do that, 0.43 minus 0.71, that would be around 0.72 is equals to 1240 by lambda minus 1240 by 491. So this is what we are getting, and from here we need to find out the value of lambda. All right. So on doing the math, you get the value of lambda as 382 Newton nanometer. I've skipped the calculation, guys. You can do it for yourself. You can finish the calculation and see. Option C is what you're going to get as the right answer. Okay. Next, we come to question number 65. It says, consider the diffraction pattern obtained from the sunlight incident on a pinhole of diameter. So there is a pinhole, let's say, and sunlight is coming through this pinhole. Okay. So we know that there would be a central maximum with, the secondary maximums and like this. So it says if the diameter of the pinhole is slightly increased. Now, guys, the size of the pinhole is inversely, like the size of the central maxima is inversely proportional to the diameter of the pinhole. So if the diameter is increased, then the size will decrease. The size will decrease, but because it will allow more light to enter, so the intensity will increase. So the size decreases, but intensity increases. So option A should be the right answer here. Okay. Then we go to question number 66. It says EM waves are used for optical communication, have longer wavelengths than that of microwave employed in the radar technology. And the second statement says that infrared EM waves are more energetic. Now, guys, these two statements are contradicting among themselves. This one says EM waves have longer wavelength, which means that EM waves should have lesser energy as compared to microwave. And the second statement says that okay, this is infrared, but this is not right. Right? EM waves used for optical communication, they have higher frequency, so they will have shorter wavelength. So statement A is wrong. And statement two says infrared EM waves are more energetic than microwaves. Yeah, that part is true. That part is true. So here we will go with option B. A is false, but R is true. Okay. Next, we go to question number 67. It says the pressure acting on a submarine is this much at a certain depth. If the depth is doubled, the percentage increase in the pressure acting on the submarine would be. Now, on a certain depth is this much. So, how much is that depth? Let's try to find out. So, 3 into 10 to the power 5 is equals to the atmospheric pressure which is given to us. So, atmospheric pressure plus rho g h1. So, that is the first equation. Now, the question says that if the depth is doubled, the percentage increase in the pressure acting on the submarine would be. Now, from here, can we get the value of rho g h1? I think we can. It will be 2 into 10 raised to power 5. In the second case, the new pressure, let it be P prime. Okay. So that would be the atmospheric pressure plus 2 times rho g h1. Okay. 2 times rho g h1. So it will become 10 raised to power 5 plus 4 into 10 raised to power 5. So it will become 5 into 10 raised to power 5. Now, if you ask me how much is the percentage increase, so this value minus this value divided by the previous value. So 5 minus 3 upon 3 into 100 is the answer. So this will become 200 by 3 percentage. So option C would be the right answer. Okay. Next, we go to question number 68. It says, in the given figure, a body of mass M is held between two massless springs on a smooth inclined plane. The free ends of the spring are attached to the firm supports. If each spring constant has... Okay, so guys, what is important to understand here is that when this block oscillates like this, okay, the component of gravity acting along the direction of oscillation, okay, that component is constant, okay. So if the force acting along the direction of oscillation, if that force remains constant in direction as well as in magnitude, then such a force has no impact on the time period. It only alters the equilibrium position. It does not have any impact on the time period or the frequency of oscillation. So we can ignore gravity. Point is, we can ignore gravity. We can just treat it as a spring block system. And the arrangement of spring here is the parallel arrangement of spring. Okay, so the K equivalent, the value of K equivalent would be 2K. Omega for a spring block system is given by root of K by M. Here, K would be K equivalent. So omega would be root of 2K by M. We are seeking the frequency. So 1 upon 2 pi into root of 2K by M is what we are looking for the answer. So option A would be the right one here. Next, we go to question number 69. It says a large block of wood of mass this much is hanging from the two long massless cords. A bullet of mass 10 grams is fired into the block and gets embedded in it. The block plus bullet then swims upward. The center of mass rises. Okay, so the center of mass of this rises a vertical distance of this much, which means the speed right after the collision. Okay, it should be root 2 gh. So it would become root 2 into 9.8. The question says here, and h is 9.8 into 10 raised to power minus 2 because it is in centimeters. So I've converted it. So the speed is how much? 9.8 comes out. So 0.98 into root 2 meter per second is the speed. Now this was the speed after the collision. So we can now use momentum conservation. So initially only bullet of mass 10 gram was traveling. So 10 divided by 1000, that is the mass in kg into the speed of the bullet. We are trying to find out the speed of the bullet only. Okay, is equals to the total mass will become how much? It is 5.9. This much is how much? 0.01. So yeah, the total mass becomes 6 kg. So 6 kg into 0.98 into root 2. This is speed. So from here we'll get the value of u, and how much is that? So 6 into 0.98. That is almost like how much? 7. Uh, okay, this is 6 point. This is close to, let me first write it here. So 6 into 98. Okay, 6 into 98, root 2 is the answer. So 6 into 98 is how much? It's 600 minus 12, 588. 588 into root 2, that is 1.4 times. Oh, the values are very close. The values are very close. So we should actually go with the proper calculation. And when we do, we get 9831 as the answer. Okay, I did the calculation separately to save time here. But when you finish this calculation, 831 is what you're going to get. So the option C should be the right answer. The options were very close in this one. Okay, now we come to the last question of the first section, that is the MCQ section, the SCQ section. So it says that the diamagnetic property depends on temperature. Now that is not correct. That is the ferromagnetic property that depends on the temperature. Okay. The induced magnetic dipole in a diamagnetic sample is always opposite to the magnetizing field. This part is correct. This part is correct. This part is wrong. Okay. So statement one is incorrect, but statement two is true. So option D is what we should be looking for. All right. Now we come to the numerical part. It says a current of 6 ampere enters one corner P of an equivalent triangle having three wires of resistance each, and it leaves. So if current is entering from here, it is leaving from here. Here it is dividing into two parts. The resistance. So these two will be considered in series. So the resistance here is 4 ohm. The resistance here is 2 ohm. We want to know the current I1. Current I1 is the current going in this branch. So the total current into the other resistance divided by the total resistance is what is going to be the answer. So 2 ampere is the right answer. So 2 is the answer to this question. We next go to the question number 72. The wavelength of an X-ray beam is 10 angstrom. The mass of the fictitious particle having the same energy. So, see, hc by lambda is the energy of the photon. And if we are saying that the same energy is possessed by a particle, okay, then what should be its mass? So we are talking about the rest mass energy here. We are not talking about the kinetic energy because the question simply says that the mass of a fictitious particle having the same energy as that of a, it doesn't talk anything about the velocity. So we are definitely talking about the rest mass. So mc square. So from here, m is mh by lambda c. And we have to keep the answer in terms of h. So I'm not substituting the value of h. I'm substituting the value of lambda. That is 10 raised to power minus 9. 10 angstrom is this much only. And c is 3 into 10 raised to power 8. Okay, so this becomes 10h by 3. 10h by 3. So the value of x would be 10. Okay, then we go to question number 73. It says a uniform metallic wire is elongated by 0.04 meter when subjected to a linear force. If the length, so there was a wire, let's say the length was L, the area was A. So the spring constant for this would be Young's modulus into A by L. Now the question says that we have length and diameter has been doubled. So if we double the length and we double the diameter, we change the L to 2L, but we change the area to 4A, which means that the spring constant has now become two times of its initial value. So because it has become two times of its initial value, when we exert the same force, it will cause half the elongation as the previous one. So previously it was 0.04 meter, now it would be 0.02 meter or 2 centimeter. So 2 would be the right answer here. Okay. Now that brings us to the next question, which is question number 74. It says a uniform thin bar of mass 6 kg and length is bent to make an equilateral hexagon, the moment of inertia. So guys, we are getting a regular hexagon like this. The mass is 6 kg. So if I think only about one of the sides, okay, so this side has a mass of 1 kg and this side will have a length of 0.4 meter. So let me first focus on the moment of inertia of this side and then I will multiply it with 6. So first of all, I will write moment of inertia about its own axis, perpendicular axis, that is perpendicular bisector. So that would be ml square by 12. Then I'm going to use the parallel axis theorem. So how much is this distance? This distance would be L root 3 by 2. This distance would be L. This is 60 degrees. So L sine 60. So I'm going to use m into L root 3 by 2 and square of this. And now I'll multiply this entire thing with 6 and that is going to give me the answer. So it will become ml square by 2. I've multiplied the 6 inside plus ml square 3 by 4 into 6. So this becomes ml square by 2 plus. Here it will become 2, 3, 9 by 2, 9 by 2. So 9 by 2 ml square. So ml square can be taken out as a common quantity. Half plus 4.5 is 5. So 5 ml square. Okay, so m was 1 here. Keep in mind that m was the mass of one side. So L was zero point 0.4. So zero point 0.4 into zero point 0.4 into 5. 5 into zero point 0.4 is 2. So we get 0.8 kg meter square. And if you have to answer in terms of 10 raised to the power minus 1, then we can write it as 8 into 10 raised to the power minus 1, and then the units, the kg into meter square. So 8 is going to be the right answer, as we can see here. Okay, that brings us to the final question of this session, question number 75. It says a plane progressive wave given by this much, a particle velocity at this and this will be okay. So guys, equation is given to us as xa cos, let's say omega t minus ky, something like this. So the particle velocity is given by the derivative of x with respect to time, right? So that gives us the particle velocity. So it will become a omega sine of omega t minus ky. We can put a minus sign also here, but we will be answering in terms of the the speed. Okay, we'll ignore the negative sign. So amplitude is how much? The amplitude is 40 centimeter or 40 by 100. Omega is how much? Omega is 50 pi. Omega is 50 pi. Then sine of omega t. Now 50 pi and the time that we are trying to talk about is 1 about 200 seconds. So that becomes pi by 4. So this is pi by 4 minus. minus ky. Now, how much is k? K is 0.02 pi. 0.02 pi, and how much is y? Y is 25. Okay, so 25. So this becomes pi by 2. Okay, so pi by 2. So there was a minus sign also here. It will get adjusted now. So it will become 40 by 100 into 50 pi into sine of minus pi by 4 is 1 upon root minus 1 upon root 2. Minus sign is already there, so it will become 1 upon root 2. And now we need to finish the calculation. So see, this double zero I can cancel. Let me change the pen color. So 0 and 0. So we get a 20. 20 by root 2 is 10 root 2. So 10 root 2 pi meter per second is what we are getting. And when we compare it with n is 2, the value of n that we get is 2. So that would be the right answer. So I hope that you enjoyed the solution of these tests, guys. I'll be back with more solutions, and I hope you're enjoying the entire test series. Take care, students. All the best. Keep preparing well.
Hello everyone, now let us discuss the chemistry portion of your JMMT-08, right? So JEE Mains mock test number 8. Let us start with the very first question of chemistry, which is from biomolecules, or you can also say it is from like general chemistry, our day-to-day life, right? So let us check. There is a match given here, and the vitamins list is given here, and their deficiency diseases are given in the another column, right? We just need to match it. So vitamin A, I'm sure you all know the disease related to eyes. It is very important for a good eyesight, vitamin A, right? So vitamin A deficiency cause xerophthalmia. That is something, some issue or disease related to your vision, right? And thiamine is vitamin B1. So vitamin B1 deficiency causes beriberi, the numbness, the weakness, the tiredness. That is beriberi disease. Ascorbic acid, you all know vitamin C, which is very much important for good gum health, right? So the related disease to gum, bleeding and all that, that is scurvy. So vitamin C, ascorbic acid deficiency causes scurvy. And riboflavin is vitamin B2. Its deficiency cause cheolosis. So cheolosis is something cracking of lips or the mouth around the lips, right? So these are the deficiency diseases of the vitamin. Let us check which should be the answer. So for A, it should be 3. For B, it should be 1. For C, it should be 4. And for D, it should be 2. So we'll mark our answer as option 1. Yes, A is the correct option. So I'm sure those who have studied the vitamins part in biomolecules, they must have done it right. And it is general knowledge, you can say the basic science around us, right? That we should definitely know. So the answer is A indeed. So that was question number 1. Let's move ahead, guys. So the answer was A, right? You can check here. Now let's move on to the next question, which is on, I can say, thermochemistry. So we have two reactions here. Reaction 1 is given to you, and the enthalpy change delta H1 is also given to you, and the reaction B is also given along with its delta H. You are supposed to make another reaction and calculate its delta H. So this is based on a very important topic of your thermochemistry, that is Hess law. So it is based on Hess law. Let us see how can we make this reaction using first and second reaction. So this is my reaction 1 and this is my reaction 2, and I am supposed to make this reaction in which I need graphite on reactant side and CO on product side, right? So it's clearly visible that I have to reverse reaction 1. So I have to reverse reaction 1, and also I just need 1 mole of CO. That means I have to divide reaction 1, or you can say multiply reaction 1 by 1 by 2. So reversing reaction 1 and multiplying it by half and then adding in second will make this reaction, right? So if I reverse reaction 1, so its enthalpy becomes plus X, and if I multiply it by 1 by 2, so the enthalpy becomes by 2. And now I am adding it in this, right? In second reaction, delta H is minus 1. So the overall delta H for this reaction is given by this. Whatever you do with the reaction, the same you are supposed to do with the delta H. So X minus 2Y by 2 should be the delta H of this reaction, which is being asked here. So what option we'll mark? We'll mark our answer as D for donkey, right? So D for donkey is the answer. Very easy peasy lemon squeezy question based on Hess law thermochemistry, which is indeed very important for the JEE Mains, right? So the answer is D. Let's move on to the next question. We have this question from organic chemistry. So we have a benzene ring with COCHBr2 and we added OH negative and then followed by H positive. Okay, so I can see here what is happening. So I have a phenyl. Let me make it phenyl only. Phenyl group C double bond O CHBr. Right? This is what is happening. Yep. So now on reaction with OH, Br will be replaced by OH negative, right? So substitution, nucleophilic substitution will take place, and now because 2 OH on the same carbon, they are highly unstable, they will lose water and it will become like this, right? Now you can see this reaction can undergo Cannizzaro reaction. No alpha hydrogens are there. You can see they can go Cannizzaro reaction, no alpha hydrogen. So one will make carboxylic acid, another will make OH. Cannizzaro is the disproportionation reaction, right? That results into the formation of OH and aldehyde. Got it, guys? Yes or no? I hope you will get your answer. So you will get alpha hydroxy acid. This becomes COH. This we have OH by Cannizzaro reaction formed by a redox reaction, which is a Cannizzaro reaction, disproportionation reaction, and we'll mark our answer as A here, right? So the product we got here is A. Now the next question, which of the following reaction will not give para-amino-azobenzene? Para-amino-azobenzene, there means there is a coupling reaction happening. Two rings, phenyl rings with the functional group, they are just joining together, coupling reaction. So let's check out the reagent. So we have this nitrobenzene. On adding SnHCl, we have nitro getting reduced to NH2. Now you can see HNO2. HNO2 will make it into diazonium salt. Diazonium salt you will have, and then of course this diazonium salt will join with aniline, resulting into the formation of para-amino-azobenzene. So the coupling reaction with aniline is benzene with, so the product formed is, so you have here also you have benzene ring, para position you have amino. So yes, we get the same product in this. Now sodium boron hydride cannot reduce NO2, no further reaction with NaOH, no aniline, so this cannot give any satisfactory product, no particular or good yield of any product. Next again we have HNO2, very simple, again the same as like first. So we are starting from here only. We have aniline, which will get converted into benzene diazonium salt on reaction with nitrous acid, and that benzene diazonium salt will couple with aniline to form again the same compound, right? So the question was which will not give. So the answer indeed is B. B will not give your desired product. So you'll mark your answer as, guys, C option is the correct answer, in which there is B only, right? So okay, that's the question number 4th. Now let's move on to question number 5. Yes. Okay. The solubility of AgCN in a buffer solution of pH. There's a buffer solution of pH 3 is X. The value of X, assume no cyano-complex is formed, Ksp is given to you, and also the dissociation constant of this. So this is the solubility reaction of AgCN, and the equilibrium constant of this reaction is Ksp. Now this is the opposite. HCN will dissociate to give H positive and Cn negative, and the equilibrium constant is Ka, right? That is the dissociation constant of HCN. Now I have just reversed the reaction, so the equilibrium constant for this reaction is 1 by Ka, right? So 1 by Ka. Now because AgCN is getting dissolved, it is forming Cn negative ion, which is being consumed by H positive to make HCN, which is a weak, you can say, acid. So let's take the two equations. Adding the two equations, the equilibrium constant gets multiplied. The overall, what is happening, adding these two equations, the equilibrium constant gets multiplied. So Ksp into 1 by K. What is the formula for Ksp here? Concentration of Ag positive into concentration of Cn negative. This is the formula for Ksp. And how about Ka? So into 1 by Ka. So the concentration of HCN over the concentration of H positive into the concentration of Cn negative, right? This is 1 by Ka, correct? The equilibrium constant for the second reaction. Now suppose the solubility of this is S. That means S moles of Ag positive and S moles of Cn negative are being dissolved. Like we get Ag positive S moles per liter and Cn negative S moles, because S moles of AgCN is being dissolved here, right? And out of S you can say X moles. So this is S minus X. They are forming, they're combining with H positive to form HCN. For simplification, we can assume, we generally do assumptions to simplify the equation in such questions. So we can assume that S is nearly equal to X, as we can see the values. The dissociation constant value is very less, right? That means reciprocal will be more. So S is nearly equal to X. So this is S, this is also S, right? And this, because the buffer solution has pH 3, that means the concentration is this, correct? 10 raised to power minus 3. You know the value of KSP, you know the value of Ka, and HCN is also S, and the C negative is also S, right? So we can simplify putting all these values, you will get your answer. Just the assumption you can use here, and solving, because you know KSP, you know Ka, you know these, so you can calculate the value of X, the solubility of X, that I'm taking as S here. So after putting the values, you will get your answer as A for apple. 1.9 into 10 raised to power minus 5. You can check here if you commit any calculation mistake anywhere, right? So you can check, guys. It should be 2 here. Got it? Yes. So this is how we got our answer. I've told you how to, you can check here if any kind of calculation mistake is there. So this kind of question, you might do some calculation mistake. If you're not able to solve this question in the paper, that is perfectly fine. Sometimes there are certain questions which are meant to be left. You are not supposed to spend a lot of time on such questions, right? If you're not getting it at once, do not waste your time in paper on such questions, right, guys? So let's move ahead, because it has complicated calculations also. The unsaturated hydrocarbon X on ozone releases gives A. Compound A, when bond with ammonical silver nitrate, forms a bright silver. That means it gives Tollens reagent test. So there is a hydrocarbon which on ozone releases formed a compound A which gives positive Tollens reagent test. The unsaturated hydrocarbon is, let's do the ozonolysis of all and what product we are getting, and I'm doing the reductive ozonolysis. So if this on ozonolysis, you can see, break the double bond, put C double bond O, we get ketones. Ketones will not give positive Tollens reagent test. Here, I'll break the double bond, I get on ozonolysis formic acid. Formic acid I will get, yes, formic acid, you can see, there's this triple bond here and we get formic acid there. And formic acid, I'm sure you all should be aware that formic acid gives positive Tollens reagent test, right? So this compound forms on ozonolysis. One is formic acid, another is this compound. There's a triple bond because CH2CH3, right? So this will give positive Tollens reagent test. On addition of Tollens reagent, silver mirror formation along with the evolution of CO2 and H2O you will get. So forming acid gives positive Tollens reagent test. So yes, B can be the answer. Let's check the other also. We get 2 molecules of acetic acid here. No acetic acid can give Tollens reagent positive test. Here we get ketones. Ketones of course doesn't give positive Tollens reagent test. Yes. So the answer of course is B, in which on ozonolysis we get formic acid as one of the product which will give positive test for Tollens reagent. Yes, so the answer here you will mark is B for Bombay. Right, guys? Okay. Now the next question. FeX2 and FeY3 are known when X and Y are, where X and Y you are supposed to say. X can be fluorine, chlorine, bromine, iodine, fluorine, okay, halogens. So guys, FeCl3, FeCl2, FeF2, FeBr2, FeI2 exist. Same Fe, in which iron is in +3 oxidation state, Fe, F3, FeCl3, FeBr3 exist, but FeI3 doesn't exist because you know iodide ion is a good strong reducing agent. It is a good reducing agent, right? And so it will reduce your ferric ion to ferrous ions. Right, so FeI3 doesn't exist because in FeI3 the Fe has +3 oxidation state, so which get converted to +2 by iodide ion, which is a strong oxidizing agent. So we'll mark our answer as this. X can be fluorine, chlorine, bromine, iodine, but Y can only be fluorine, chlorine and bromine. Got it, guys? So answer we will mark here is B. B is the correct answer, guys. Okay, so I hope you marked it correctly. Next, the detection test. You can say this is based on qualitative analysis or practical organic chemistry. Okay, so this is there in your NCERT also. Very important test given in your NCERT also. So guys, nitrogen. The presence of nitrogen can be detected by using a soda extract or science extract and then making it react with a complex to form blue colored complex, right? It is there in your NCERT. Please read basic principles of organic chemistry, where there are theory given related to the detection test or qualitative analysis, quantitative analysis. Sulfur, sulfide ion, sodium nitroprusside test. This is sodium nitroprusside test, sulfide ion, right? Phosphorus, if phosphorus ion is there and you add molybdate, ammonium molybdate, on addition of ammonium molybdate, you get yellow precipitates of ammonium phosphomolybdate that detects the presence of phosphorus, or you can say phosphate ion, right? The yellow precipitate formation. So phosphorus can be detected by this. And halogens, of course, halogens. On adding AgNO3, AgCl white precipitate, AgBr pale yellow precipitate, AgI yellow precipitates. So I hope you got your answer. For A it is 3, for B it is 1, and for C it is 4, and for D it is 2nd. So we'll mark our answer as D donkey. So from practical organic chemistry, you can say very much given in your NCERT. All these reaction, all these test, detection test, very important, guys. Definitely you should do them for your JEE. Got it? Now, which of the following are isostructural, which has the same structure here? So I have sulfate, I have chromate. Both are tetrahedral. I'm sure you know both are tetrahedral. Sulfate and chromate. So they are indeed isostructural, guys. Right? And same is the chromate. Both are isostructural. And then SiCl4, TiCl4, both are tetrahedral again, right? 4 bond pair around the central atom. NH3, 1 lone pair, 3 bond pair, pyramidal. But this is not pyramidal, right? Planar structure it has, BCl tetragonal planar, and this T-shaped. It is 2 lone pair, 3 bond pair. So isostructurals are 1 and 2 option, that is B Bombay. Based on VACPR, guys, very simple, very simple question. And the molecules here given are not very tough, right? So we can see the answer is 1 and 2, that is the B option here, right? So just check B. If you mark it B, then it has to be a correct option. Got it, guys? Okay. In which of the following processes the bond order has increased and paramagnetic becomes diamagnetic? Similar kind of question I have already discussed in one of the previous mock tests. So NO, the bond order is NO, the bond order is 2.5. We have already discussed the shortcut that we use for bond order. And NO positive has 14 electrons in total, so the bond order is 3. So from 2.5 to 3, from paramagnetic to diamagnetic, right? NO positive, all electrons pair, diamagnetic. So bond order has increased. The paramagnetic behavior becomes diamagnetic. So by checking the very first option only, we can get our answer. You can check the others as well to be sure. So the answer indeed is A. Bond order 2.5, bond order 3 here. Got it, guys? Okay, so that was question number 10 of the paper. Now the next question. For the reaction 2A plus B gives product when the concentration of A and B both are doubled, the rate of reaction increased from 0.3. If the concentration of both are doubled, the rate of reaction increased from 0.3 to 2.4. That means if you double the concentration, the rate becomes 8 times. Yes. So rate of the reaction as per the rate law, okay, the concentration of A raised to power X and the concentration of B raised to power Y. X and Y are the order of the reaction with respect to A and B respectively. So when the concentration of A alone is double, the rate increases from 0.3 to 0.6. So if only I double the concentration of A, the rate also doubles. That means this X, the power, the order with respect to this should be 1. Because if you double the concentration, the rate will also become double. That power has to be 1, right? And overall, if you double the concentration of both, the overall rate becomes 8 times, right? 8 times. That means this Y should be 2, so that on doubling the concentration of B, the effect on rate is 4 times. So 4 times by this, 2 times by this, total 8 times. So let's check what should be the option. The total order of the reaction is 4. No, it is 3. 1 plus 2. The overall order is 3. The order of reaction with respect to B is 2. Yes, it is 2. And with respect to A, it is 1. So this is the correct option. B is the correct option. Chemical kinetics, pretty basic, simple question, fundamental question. That type of questions are being asked and they're pretty easy to crack. So orally you can do it, guys. The answer indeed is B. Got it? So B is the answer. Let's move on to the next question. Which of the oxide is acidic in nature? You know, non-metallic oxides are acidic. Metallic oxides are basic. Let's check. N2O neutral, BaO, metallic oxide basic, calcium oxide basic, silicon oxide acidic. We have to figure out an option and both are acidic. Be2O3 acidic oxide, SiO2 non-metallic oxide, again acidic oxide. So of course we'll mark our answer as C. Nature of oxide, very important. Many previous year question you can see from the nature of oxides, right? So the answer indeed is C. Both are non-metallic oxides, both are acidic. Okay, the orbital having 2 radial as well as 2 angular nodes. Okay, the formula for radial node is n minus L minus 1. Radial nodes, the formula for radial nodes should be n minus L minus 1 and angular nodes is L. The formula for angular nodes is L. So both should be 2. That means L should be 2. If L is 2, that means it should be a D subshell. For D subshell, for S subshell, L value, azimuthal quantum number is 0. For P it is 1. For D it is 2. So I can only see an option. Only one option is there in which there is a D subshell. So by checking L equal to 2 only, the formula for angular node is L equal to 2, we get our answer. And you can check here also, put N equal to 5, L equal to 2. The radial nodes will also come as 2. So again, if you know the formula of radial and angular nodes, not at all a tough question to crack. Okay, now what is X in the given reaction? What is X in the given reaction? So we have alcohol and oxalic acid. Whenever I say alcohol and acid together, ester formation altogether strikes us, right? Oxalic acid. So they will form a ring. Yes, they will form a ring here. Losing water. Ester formation is there, guys. You can see alcohol and carboxylic. This is oxalic acid. So let me make a cyclic ester here. So we get a cyclic ester formation here, right? Of course, which on heating, because it is heated, on heating, these bonds will break and 2 molecules of CO2 will be released on heating. CO2 will be evolved and finally we get a double bond here. So the answer has to be B. We get an alkene here. Please check. Yes, a cyclic ester formed on heating will lose CO2 and you get alkene as the product. Done, 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 done. Okay, let's move ahead. The correct sequence of reagent used in the preparation of 4-bromo-2-nitroethyl benzene. Let's make the product first. What product is required here? So the product that is required here is, this is ethyl 2-nitro and 4-bromo. This is the final product that we need, guys, here in question number 15, right? Let's check. Let's check with the first. Okay, the sequence of from benzene. We are starting with benzene. So we have a benzene. On adding CH3CO, we get Friedel-Crafts acylation, right? COCH3, which will get converted to CH2CH3 because Clemmensen reduction, and then bromine. Ortho para directing alkyl group is, so we get bromine at para position, and then nitration, right? Yes. So of course, again we have ortho para directing, so we have nitro group here. So this is the desired product that we want in the very first option. We check the first option and we get the desired product. What a luck, guys, right? So the answer indeed, Friedel-Crafts acylation followed by Clemmensen reduction and then bromination and then nitration, you get the desired product. So the answer has to be A for apple. You can check, right? This, and this. Done? Okay. So this was question number 15. Let's move on to the next question, guys. So the answer was A. Okay. Arrange the following in the hydrogens which are being labeled here in decreasing order of acidic strength. Let's check. So A is C triple bond CH. Okay. B is COH, OH and OH. Of course, carboxylic acid is the strongest acid followed by phenol, and then we have triple bond acetylene. So on the basis of polarity and resonance, so the strongest should be B, carboxylic acid, and A should be the least. Right? Yes. Now we have two OH on benzene C and D. Right? Now nitro NO2 is electron withdrawing group, and its electron withdrawing effect is affecting this, making it more acidic. Right? Because it doesn't operate. The mesomeric effect of nitro is not affecting the group present at meta position. Got it, guys? Yes. So because of the electron withdrawing effect of NO2 on this C, so C becomes more acidic. Electron withdrawing group increases the acidic strength. So this should be the order: B, carboxylic acid, and then alcohols, and then this C and D. Why C is stronger acid than this D? Because of the electron withdrawing effect of NO2 applying here at the para position, not at the meta position. So B, C, D, A. So we will go with option B here. Got it, guys? So B is the correct option. Please check here. Very important type of questions from GOC, acidic and basic strength. B is the correct answer. Okay, now the next question. 1 molar aqueous solution of following compounds, which one will show the highest freezing point? Okay. The colligative property is depression in the freezing point. More is the value of colligative property. More is the number of particles. Solute particle, lower is the freezing point, or I can say lesser is the number of solute particle, more is the freezing point, right? So we are here, they are asking us the highest freezing point, where there is the least depression in freezing point because of the solute added. Okay, so this complex will form one, it will not break into ion, this complex will be there, it will give 1 complex ion, 3 chlorine and 4 particles, 4 ions, 3 ions, 2 ions, then it will give just 1 molecule. Lesser is the number of molecules, lesser is the colligative property. That means lesser is the depression, decrease in freezing point. That means A option has the highest freezing point, guys. Got it? Because the value of colligative property, the depression, the decrease in freezing point depends upon the number of solute particle. So, not a tough question again. From solution and colligative property, the answer is A. Vent of factor is 1 here. Which of the following resonating structure, question number 18, which of the following resonating structure is least stable? Let's check it out. Okay. So number of octet, then more number of bond, then the more electronegative atom should carry the negative charge, and then opposite charges as close as each other because opposite attracts, same charges should be far apart. So I can see in all oxygen is having negative charge, carbon is having negative charge, positive charge, and also nitrogen is having positive charge. So you can see here in the structure, same charges close to each other that can lead to repulsions. Yes. So the least stable structure you can see, you can check the octet, the negative charge is present on which atom. So nitrogen has positive charge in all, oxygen has a negative charge, carbon has positive and negative charge. right? So answer is A, because the same charges, they are more close, repulsions more, stability less. So least stable resonating structure here will mark is A, right? Because same charges repel each other. Okay, next question. Heat treatment of muscular pain involves radiation of wavelength. So lambda is given to us. (900 nanometers) or 900 into now, which of the spectral line of hydrogen is suitable for this purpose? Okay, so you are supposed to check N1, N2 values are given here, and you are supposed to check which satisfy the Rydberg's equation. Let's write the Rydberg's equation, guys. 1 over lambda, the wavelength, Rydberg constant, 1 over N1 square minus 1 over N2 square. Right? Yes? Correct? So, these are N2 values, infinity, and this is N1 value. Put the various values and see which will give you the required lambda. Lambda has to be equal to 900. Right? Try the various combination. Put N1, N2 value here and just take care of the unit, guys. So in first case, N1 is 3, N2 is infinity. Rydberg constant is given to you. Check the value of lambda. In second case, put N1 equal to 3, N2 equal to 5. The electron is transiting from 5th orbit to 3rd orbit. So you can check the lambda. So it is a bit tedious task, but the calculations are not much, like they are not very difficult. So just check using Rydberg's equation, which N1, N2 satisfy the equation and gives you the lambda equal to 900. So guys, I hope you did the same way. Let's check which part is satisfying. Oh my god. So it will not waste your time because the answer is A. Once you put N1 equal to 3 and N2 equal to infinity, you get your lambda as 900 nanometer. By checking very first option, you will get your answer. So done. No wastage of time. Pretty simple. You can check. I hope you did it right. Rydberg's equation, Rydberg formula we are using in this question. Okay, which of the following molecules does not show stereoisomerism? Which will not show stereoisomerism? Okay, let's check. Stereoisomerism, optical or geometrical? Any. Hex 3 in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3 hex, 3 in. 1, 2, 3. 3, 4 dimethyl. So this is first option, A option. So of course it will show geometrical isomerism. You can see here double bond is there and the groups attached to the same carbon of the double bond, they are different. It will show geometrical isomerism. Let's make the B part. 3 methyl, 1, 2, 3 methyl. Yes. Will it show geometrical isomerism? No, it will not show geometrical isomerism, but it can show optical isomerism because there is this chiral carbon here. So stereoisomerism, it can show optical isomerism, it can show. Now the third part, let's check the C part, the C option, let's check. The C part is 3 hex 3 in. Yes. So this molecule, because on this carbon, both the groups are same, it cannot show geometrical isomerism. Can it show optical isomerism? Is there any chiral carbon, sp3 hybridized carbon with 4 different groups? So indeed no optical isomerism, no geometrical isomerism. So this molecule cannot show stereoisomerism. You can check the fourth one also. Definitely it should show some or the other because there is one in, so that has to show the optical isomerism because geometrical it cannot show. So we got our answer, guys. The answer is B. C. C will not show any kind of isomerism. No optical, no geometrical. Got it, guys? I hope you got it right. Let's move ahead. Okay. In mildly alkaline medium, thiosulfate ion is oxidized by KMnO4 to, of course, sulfate. MnO4 negative, right? So it will form sulfate. The oxidation state of sulfur in this. Here, sulfate, it is +6. So very pretty simple. Thiosulfate gets oxidized to sulfate. The answer is plus 6, right? So plus 6 is the correct answer, guys. So quickly you should mark it, plus 6. Got it? Your Mn plus 4 said weakly because it is given the weakly or mildly basic medium. Okay, now this. A sample of N2H6SO4, these are the numeric value equation, guys, was dissolved in 1000 ml of water and 20 ml of this solution was reacted with excess of ferric chloride and want to complete the reaction. Ferrous ion formed were estimated and it requires 10 ml of M by 50 molar KMnO4 solution. Okay, so estimate the amount of N2H6SO4 in 960 ml of the solution. Let's check, guys, how to do it. So basically your ferric ions, right? So you have a solution of N2H6SO4, right? You dissolved a sample of this in 1000 ml. You took 20 ml of this solution and reacted with ferric chloride, right? And the ferric becomes ferrous and that ferrous react with KMnO4, right? For complete reaction. So I can use the law of chemical equivalence. The equivalence of KMnO4 used here is equal to the equivalence of ferrous ion. So the equivalence of KMnO4 molarity into volume into valency factor. Molarity is given to me. Molarity is given to me 1 by 50. Volume is 10 ml. Valency factor is 5. Yes, done. So 1 milli equivalent, because I'm taking the volume here, or you can say 10 raised to power minus 3 equivalents of KMnO4. So that is equal to the equivalents of ferrous ion. That is equal to the ferrous are being formed from ferric, right? That is equal to the equivalents of ferric ions. And the equivalents of ferric ion is equal to the equivalents of this. Correct? So the equivalents of is equal to the same law of chemical equivalence. The equivalence of one reactant reacted is equal to the equivalence of another reactant reacted equal to the equivalent of each product formed. So that is 10 raised to power minus 3 number of equivalents, right? So 10 raised to power minus 3 given mass X equivalent mass. How can we calculate equivalent mass? Molar mass, that is 130 divided by valency factor. Now let's check the valency factor of N2 here. Yes, so here nitrogen is in +2 oxidation state. You can check here the oxidation state of nitrogen is +2. Oh, sorry, +2, -2. -2, right? So -2 to 0. It is changing its oxidation state from -2 to 0. That means one nitrogen is losing 2 electron and we have 2 nitrogens in N2H4. So the valency factor, the number of electron gain or lost by one molecule of oxidizing or reducing agent. So that is 4 here, right? Yes. So we get the mass. X is the mass of N2H6SO4 in 20 ml. That is the mass in 20 ml. We get the value of X. That is the mass of N2H6SO4 in 20 ml. So whatever value of X you get solving this, pretty simple. That is in 20 ml. But you are supposed to tell the mass of N2H6SO4 in 960 ml. Pretty simple. 20 ml you know. So you can calculate how much it will be there in 960 ml. Got it, guys? I hope solving this way you will get your answer correctly, guys. Simple law of chemical equivalence, though the question looks very complicated, but it's pretty simple. And the final answer is 1.56, guys. 1.56 is the final answer. That is the amount of N2H6SO4 present in 960 ml. Got it, guys? Yes, I hope you can do it. Next question, for the given reaction, the total number of possible product formed by tertiary carbocation. So let's check. So this H positive will attack on this and the carbocation that we get here is this is the carbocation we get, right? This is the carbocation you get, right? This is the carbocation. Water will remove and this will form a carbocation. Now it can do hydride shift and methyl shift. So when it do hydride shift or methyl shift, so this methyl group will transit here and here I get the 3-degree carbocation. This is the 3-degree carbocation that I will get because of the methyl shift. So let me write methyl shift happening. Carbocation become 3-degree. From 2-degree it becomes 3-degree. Now this can shift here also. There can be hydride shift also, and resulting carbocation can come here, guys. This is hydride shift from the adjacent carbon, right? Yes, correct. Now these are the 2 tertiary carbocations that can be formed by the shifting, right? The alkyl shift or methyl shift. Now how many possible products, total number of possible products can be formed? How many possible products can be formed? So let's check how many alkenes we can get from this. So because heating is there, alkene will be formed. So from this I can get, because there is this carbocation, double bond here or double bond here, right? And the carbocation is here, so double bond can be here also, the double bond can be here also. Yes, perfecto. Yo. Yes, so these are the possible product, but one thing you are supposed to keep in mind, when there is a double bond there here, so if I get this, this is the alkene, one of the alkene formed. Now this carbon becomes chiral and this can show an enantiomers. So you have to count the total number of products, right? Otherwise you are getting 4 alkene, out of 4 alkene, 1 will have a chiral carbon and that makes the total count 5. So the answer indeed is 5. 5 alkenes you will get from tertiary carbocation in this reaction, dehydration of alcohol via carbocation intermediate, guys. So yes, the answer is 5. Got it? So these are the 2 carbocations that can be formed. And from one you can get these 2 alkenes, from the other you can get these 2 alkenes with one as the chiral carbon. That can give you the enantiomers. Okay, the number of bridging CO ligands in this. Bridging CO ligand, and this is an important molecule, guys. So let me, there is no bridging, all the CO. No bridging carbonyl. There is MN bond, no bridging carbonyl. Right? So the answer will be 0. And the one thing special about this that you should also keep in mind is the Mn and Mn, they are forming delta bonds, right? The 4 lobes of d orbital of one Mn that is overlapping with the 4 lobes of the d orbitals of another Mn. There's a delta bond. So while calculating EAN, you should keep that in mind. Yes, that should be there. The 2 electrons from delta bond has to be added. So special case, so no bridge CO. So the answer indeed is 0, 0, 0. Those who know the structure, they can quickly mark. So the structure of metal carbonyls you should definitely know. Now the last question, let us check what is the last question. A homogeneous ideal gaseous reaction. So we have a gaseous reaction, AB2 gives A plus 2B gas, right? Is carried out in 25-liter flask. The volume is given, the temperature is given. The initial mole, let me write, the initial mole is 1, 0, 0. And at equilibrium, it should be 1 minus alpha. This is alpha, this is 2 alpha. Right? Alpha is the degree of dissociation, you can say here. So, and equilibrium pressure is given to you. Equilibrium pressure is 1.9. So, equilibrium pressure is given to you. I will use PV is equal to nRT at equilibrium. Pressure is given 1.9. Volume is given 25. Right? Yes. N is the total moles at equilibrium. N is the total moles at equilibrium because P is the equilibrium pressure. R value is given to you, though you know what is R. Temperature 27 degrees Celsius, that is 300 Kelvin. So you can calculate the total moles, the moles of gas at equilibrium. So the N total at equilibrium is 1 minus alpha plus 2 alpha. These are the total moles. 1 minus alpha, so alpha, that is equal to 1 plus 2 alpha. So you know PV is equal to nRT. You can calculate the total moles at the equilibrium, guys. Putting the value of total mole, you can get the alpha value. Once you get the alpha value, you know the moles at equilibrium, right? You know how much mole of AB2, A and B are present at equilibrium, right? The value of Kp, what is Kp? Kp is the equilibrium constant in terms of pressure. That is the partial pressure of A at equilibrium, the partial into the partial pressure of B at equilibrium raised to power 2 upon the partial pressure of AB2 at equilibrium. We know the moles at equilibrium, guys. Moles are known to us. We know the alpha value, we can calculate the moles. So we are supposed to calculate the partial pressure to calculate Kp. So the partial pressure of A using Dalton law is the mole fraction of A into P total. Mole fraction of A is moles of A at equilibrium, that is alpha, over the total moles, that is 1 plus 2 alpha, right? Total moles also, you know, 1 plus 2 alpha value, that is the total moles, into 1.9, that is P total at equilibrium. So similarly, you can calculate for PB, the partial pressure of PB and the partial pressure of PAB2 at equilibrium using Dalton's law. The partial pressure of a gas is equal to the mole fraction of gas in the mixture into P total. So we need Kp, putting all these values. I'm sure it is pretty simple. So what we have done here, using PV is equal to nRT, we calculate total moles at equilibrium because we know the equilibrium pressure. So by using that total moles, we can calculate individual moles because we get to know alpha value. And if we know the individual moles at equilibrium, the mole fraction is known. Using Dalton's law, we can calculate the partial pressure which is required to calculate Kp, equilibrium constant in terms of pressure. So you are supposed to tell the value of Kp in terms of x into 10 raised to the power minus 2. You are supposed to quote the value of x here, right? So I am sure if you didn't do any kind of mistake, calculation mistake or anything of that sort, you'll get your answer as 73. X is 73. You can see the total moles are 1.93. and alpha is coming out to be 0.465. So once you know alpha, that is the moles of A, twice alpha is the moles of B, 1 minus alpha is the moles of AB2. So put the values, you'll get your answer as 72.7 into 10 to the power minus 2. You have to quote X value, that is nearly equal to 73. So that's all in this paper, guys. I hope you did really well in this paper, and all the best for your next test. Keep giving mock tests because really they are the most important part of your last minute strategy, giving as many as mock tests possible, analyzing the mock test as I always say. So all the best, keep giving mock tests as many as possible and make sure that you do analyze because that is the whole point of giving mock test, right? So all the best, guys. Thank you so much.
Hello everyone, I'm Surendra Jain, Master Teacher of Maths and Vedantu. I'm discussing JMMT-08. This is question number 1 of Maths portion. Here we are given a 7-digit number is to be formed using these 7 digits, out of which 2 are 3, 3 are 4s and 2 are 5s. We have to find the probability that number so formed is divisible by 2. Now total numbers, if you calculate, that can be formed using these digits would be 7 factorial upon 2 factorial, 3 factorial, 2 factorial. That is a formula for arrangement of alike objects. Now I want number to be divisible by 2. That means my unit place should be having 4. So remaining 6 places, after 1 force used at unit place, these 6 places will be filled by 2 3s, 2 remaining 4s and 2 5s. So that will be the required probability. You can do the calculation. I think that is simple. You will get answer to be 3 upon 7. That is D. Okay. Now coming to the next question. Here we are asked the angle between faces OPQ and PQR of a tetrahedron whose vertices are given. Now whenever we are finding the angle between faces, we find angle between their normals. So for OPQ, we can find the normal by taking cross product of 2 vectors OP cross OQ or OP cross PQ. It's our choice. We can choose anyone. I am choosing OP cross PQ. And similarly for other face, I can choose PQ and QR. Okay. Now here OP vector, first row will be IJK and OP vector is OP. O is origin. So here it will be 1, 2, 1. And for PQ, it will be 2 minus 1, 1, 1 minus 2 minus 1, and 3 minus 1 is 2. Now we can do the calculation. 2 into 2 4 plus 1 5 I cap. For j it will be 2 minus 1 1, so minus j cap, and for k it is minus 1 minus 2, so minus 3 k cap. Okay, and similarly for PQ cross QR, I j k in first row, PQ I can copy from here, so 1 minus 1 2, and QR will be minus 3 0 and minus 1. So this product would be, we can write it here, so 1 into I cap. For j it will be minus 1 plus 6 7, minus 1 plus 6, so 5, but with minus sign because of this 1 2 element, so 5 j, and for k it will be 0 minus 3, so minus 3 k cap. So this is the vector we are getting. You can check by taking dot product with these two rows also, like you are getting 1 plus 5 6 6 minus 6, so it is 0. So here you can get these two vectors. You are getting these two vectors. Now the angle will be just the dot product of these two vectors and finding cos theta using that. So cos theta will be equal to dot of these two vectors, so that is 5 plus 5 10, 10 plus 9 19, upon magnitude here is root 35 and magnitude here is also root 35. So we are getting cos theta to be equal to 19 upon 35. Our options are not like theta equal to cos inverse 19 upon 35, rather we are having cos inverse minus 19 upon 35, which is actually pi minus cos inverse 19 upon 35. See, whenever we are having two lines and their angle between them is theta, then from other side that angle can be pi minus theta also. So always you can have two angles between two faces if you look at this way. So if my answer is cos inverse 19 upon 35, then I think B is also right answer. Okay, so moving to the next question, that is question number 28. Here we are asked to find a triangle of maximum area that can be inscribed in a given circle of radius r. Now I think it is very much known result that in a circle, if we want a triangle to be of maximum area, then this triangle has to be equilateral triangle. This we can prove mathematically also, but first let me find the answer of this question. So obviously right angle triangle will be a wrong option. This isosceles triangle will also be a wrong option. So we have to focus only on equilateral triangle. Now this circle is having radius r and center is at this point, which will also be centroid of this triangle because of the symmetry, because it's an equilateral triangle. So from center to A, the distance will be r. From center to this base, this will be r by 2, because this is actually also one median, in which centroid divides this A, G, the centroid divides AD in the ratio 2:1. So this height of this triangle has to be r plus r by 2, that is 3r by 2. Whereas they are saying it has to be 2r by 3. So this B also seems wrong. So only D option is correct. Now you can prove this side length of equilateral triangle by using simple trigonometry. This angle is 60 degree and this is 3r by 2. So this A can be obtained with the help of sine 60 degree. Sine 60 will be 3r by 2 upon A, and sine 60 is root 3 by 2. So this 2 gets cancelled, and from here we get r to be equal to r root 3. So answer for this question is D. Now I'll tell you how you can prove that this triangle inside a circle, if it is having maximum area, then it has to be equilateral triangle only. Please see. Suppose you are having a circle, of radius r. Okay. Now take any triangle whose base is BC. Okay, I'm starting with this thing. Then where my other vertex A should be lying. I think if base is fixed, in order this area to be maximum, this A should be such that it is at highest distance, highest height from the side BC. And this is only possible if from A, if you draw perpendicular, it should be meeting midpoint of BC. That means it should be a isosceles triangle first. Okay, so we have proved that for any base, given base BC, for this triangle to have maximum area, A should be such that AB is equal to AC, or this angle equal to this angle. So it has to be isosceles. But we will then prove that for different bases, like BC, I can change from 0 length here till diameter, that will be the maximum possible length of BC. So it will be having maximum area when you choose BC to be such that these angle theta are 60-60, and then we will be done with this question. Okay, how we can do this? Because this is the altitude also, this is the median also. So this centroid, not centroid, the center of this circle will be lying somewhere here. Okay, and from this point to A, this length would be R, and if you join O with B, this will also be R. Okay, so if this was theta, and one more thing, because this angle is 90 and this was theta, so this will be 90 minus theta. This will be 90 minus theta. Let me write it here. And if this is 90 minus theta, this will also be 90 minus theta. Okay, so if you drop perpendicular from this midpoint O to this AB, and because OAB is isosceles triangle, it will meet it at midpoint. Okay, so if it is 90 minus theta, this will be theta here. So we can find the length AB, that will be equal to 2 times AE, and 2 times AE means, because this is R and this is theta, I think that will be 2R, because this is theta and this is hypotenuse R, so AE would be sine theta, R sine theta. So 2R sine theta will be the length of AB. You can check, because sine theta is equal to AE upon R. Yeah, that's correct. So this AB will be 2R sine theta. Now this AB and AC, they both are equal, and also this angle BAC is equal to pi minus 2 theta, because this is theta, so this angle is 180 minus 2 theta. So this area of the triangle will be 1 upon 2 into AB, that is 2R sine theta, into AC, that is also same, so square here, into sine pi minus 2 theta, which I can write as sine 2 theta. So this will be equal to, if you open this square, so 2 into R square outside, and then sine square theta, and sine 2 theta we can write it as 2 sine theta cos theta. So we have got this area as a function of theta, which comes out to be 4R square into sine cube theta into cos theta. Now we can do the differentiation with respect to theta, and we can see that this area will be maximum when theta is equal to 60 degree. So 4R square I will keep outside. This will be 3 sine square theta into cos theta, and one more cos theta, so cos square theta, minus sine cube theta into sine theta. For cos also differentiation will be sine theta. We have to make it 0. So this will give you, sine square theta is cancelled. So we are getting 3 cos square theta is equal to sine square theta. So we will be getting from here tan theta will be equal to root 3. Okay, we can check that for this angle, this is actually a point of maxima. So pi by 3, theta is equal to pi by 3 is a point of maxima. So area will be maximum at that point. To prove it is point of maxima, you can take double differentiation, or you can check the sign of first derivative is changing at pi by 3 from positive to negative. At pi by 3, it will be changing from positive to negative. So this will be having point of maxima at that point. I'm not doing, please do it yourself. Okay, so coming to the next question, that is question number 29. Here, tan inverse A plus tan inverse B is pi by 4. I think if I take tan both sides, it will become A plus B upon 1 minus AB. That is tan A plus tan B upon 1 minus tan A tan B, that is equal to 1. It gives you A plus B equal to 1 minus AB. So that is the relation we are getting from this given relation. Now this infinite series, if you look at this, it is actually expansion of ln of 1 plus A for A only. A minus A square by 2 plus A cube by 3 minus A power 4 by 4 and so on up to infinity. This is nothing but ln of 1 plus A. Similarly, for B also you can check B upon B square by 2, B minus B square by 2 plus B cube upon 3 and so on. So that will be ln of 1 plus B. So from this you can see the sum of this series would be actually ln 1 plus A plus ln of 1 plus B. You can add them, that means they will be multiplied. So we get 1 plus A plus B plus AB. Now from this equation number 1, a plus b plus ab is 1. So this becomes ln of 1 plus 1, that is ln 2. So answer for this question is B. Now coming to question number 30, it says A1 is the area of a region bounded by curve y is equal to sin x, y is equal to cos x. This is graph of sin x. And for cos x, graph would be something like this. Okay. And y-axis in the first quadrant. Let us use different color here. So A1 is the area bounded by sin x, cos x and y-axis in the first quadrant. So this is the area I think they are talking about, that is A1. And A2 is the area of the region bounded by the curve y is equal to sin x, cos x, x-axis, and that lies between x is equal to 0 and x is equal to pi by 2. I think this point is pi by 2. So between this x is equal to 0, x is equal to pi by, x is equal to 0 and x is equal to pi by 2, bounded between sin x, cos x and x is equal to 0. I think this is the region that will be A2. Now first easy thing here is that I think A1 plus A2, if we have to find, it is actually area of cos x bounded between y-axis, x-axis from 0 to pi by 2. And I think that's a standard result also. If you might have remembered it also, that this will be equal to 1, and you can do by integration also. It's a simple thing. Now, so our options, I think maybe B can be true or D can be true. Now, if we have to be sure which option is correct, I think I have to find A1 and A2 also separately. Now, A1 will be from 0 to pi by 4 because sin and cos, they will intersect at this point whose x coordinate will be pi by 4. So 0 to pi by 4, in which upper function is cos, lower function is sin. So integration of cos is sin, and for sin is minus cos, so it will be plus cos here, and we will put limit from 0 to pi by 4. Pi by 4 if you put, it becomes root 2, and if you put 0 it will be minus 1. So you can see A1 is coming out to be root 2 minus 1, and because A1 plus A2 is 1, so A2 will be equal to 2 minus root 2. Okay, and which is actually root 2 times A1. So the ratio of A1 ratio A2 is 1:2. So answer of this question will be B. Coming to question number 31, here we are asked to find the domain of function f of g, where gx is this quadratic upon quadratic and g2 they are saying is equal to limit x approaches to 2 gx. Actually this gx is a function where you can see this x minus 2 factor is common in numerator as well as in the denominator. So x minus 2 here also, and it is 2x plus 3. So please see the product in denominator is also matching, 2x square minus 4x plus 3x and minus 6. So it is matching. So whenever we do such question, we always say it will be equal to x plus 1 upon 2x plus 3, provided x is not equal to 2. But if we are given in the question itself that g2 is defined separately and it is equal to the limit of gx as x approaches to 2, then I think I can also claim that my entire gx function is given by this linear upon linear only. Okay, now they are saying FOG. FOG means it is sine inverse of gx, which is x plus 1 upon 2x plus 3. And we have to find the domain of this. Domain of this means this expression linear upon linear, x plus 1 upon 2x plus 3, its mod should be less than or equal to 1. Okay, that will be the best method. Then you multiply by mod of 2x plus 3 both sides. So we will be getting same inequation sign, and we can write like this. And then we can do the squaring also because these quantities are positive. So we are getting x plus 1 square, okay, because mod of square is directly square also. And we can bring this 2x plus 3 this side and less than or equal to 0. A square minus b square, if you apply, this becomes 3x plus 4, okay, into minus x minus 2 less than or equal to 0. So this becomes 3x plus 4 into x plus 2 to be greater than or equal to 0. So simple wavy curve method is now to be applied from minus 2, this is minus 2 and this is minus 4 upon 3. So positive, negative and positive. So greater than or equal to 0 means it should be minus infinity to minus 2 union minus 4 by 3 to infinity. At minus 4 by 3 and minus 2, both it will be included. So answer for this question is B. Now this question A, question 32. A and B are 2 points and P is a point on the circle such that PA square plus PB square has maximum value. Then the maximum value we have to find. Okay. So here you please see that circle is having center at 1, 1 and radius is also 1. That means it will touch x-axis and y-axis like this. Now this point A is having x coordinate 1 and y coordinate 4. This was 1, 1. This is 1, 2, 1, 3. This is 1, 4. So A point will be here. And B point is 1, -5. So 1, 0, 1, -1, -2, -3, -4 and -5 here. So this is B point. 1, -5 and A is 1, 4 here. Now we have to find PA square plus PB square to be maximum, where P is some point on the circle. And I can take this P point to be in parametric form as 1 plus cos theta, 1 plus sin theta. Okay, so here PA square plus PB square can be calculated. PA square from distance formula. So x coordinate, if you take difference, it will be just cos square theta. For y coordinate, it will be 3 minus sin theta whole square. Similarly, for BP square, this x coordinate will again give you only cos square theta, whereas for y coordinate, if you take the difference, it will be 6 plus sin theta whole square. We will open all these brackets. So 2 cos square theta and 2 sin square theta will give you 2. And the constant terms are 9 from here and 36 from here. And minus 6 sin theta from here and plus 12 sin theta from here. So total plus 6 sin theta will be here. Okay, so we are getting this 11 plus 36, I think 47 plus 6 sin theta. So if we want this maximum, I think this maximum will be when sin theta gives you value equal to 1. So this will be 47 plus 6, that is 53. So answer of this question will be B. And this is when sin theta is 1. Sin theta is 1 means theta is pi by 2. So that point should be here. And you can verify when you take P here, then these lengths will be such that square of these, sum of these squares would be 53. Okay. Now coming to the next question. Question number 33. The locus of midpoint of line segment from 3, 2 to a point on the circle. Okay, this circle is unit radius circle, center at origin. Whereas 3, 2 would be somewhere here, if this is 1. So 2 here, 3 here, 1 and 2 here, approximately 3, 2 point. Okay. Now we have to find the locus of those points which are midpoint of line segment joining this point to a point on the circle P. Now I'll tell you two ways. One is that you take P as cos theta, sin theta. Okay, so the midpoint H, K, which we are looking for the locus. So H will be cos theta plus 3 upon 2 and K will be sin theta plus 2 upon 2. Okay, now cos square theta plus sin square theta we have to do, or maybe we can do directly H minus 3 by 2 square plus K minus 1 square also. That will give you 1 upon 4. This 3 by 2 we'll take on the left hand side with H, and this 2 upon 2 is 1 that I'll also take on the left with K, and their sum of squares will be just 1 upon 4. So you can see it is again a circle only and its radius is 1 by 2. So answer will be B. Now I was talking about another method. Please see, that method is slightly geometrical method. If I join this 3, 2 with the center of the circle, okay, and this is Q point whose locus is to be found. Okay, now 3 by 2 is a fixed point, center is also a fixed point, their midpoint will also be a fixed point. Let us say A. That midpoint will also be fixed point, and in fact it will be 3 by 2, 1. Okay, if I join A with Q, okay, and we join P with O. Now because Q is midpoint of this, let us say this point was B, Q is midpoint of PB and A is midpoint of OB. So this QA will always be parallel to OP, and this QA will be equal to half of PO. That is from midpoint theorem. So this half PO will be nothing but 1 by 2. Now you can see this point Q for every location of P, wherever you go, will be such that its distance from a fixed point A is always equal to half. A is fixed 3 by 2 comma 1. So this radius, so this Q will be lying on the circle whose radius will be equal to half. I think we were getting same locus from here also. So I think both ways are good. Second one is only when you are comfortable with geometry thing. Question number 34. We are given this fx equal to this thing. So here, first of all, you please check this f0 is equal to, I think, 1. This will give you 0 and e power 0 will give you 1. Now, if I differentiate it, I will be getting f dash x equal to e power x into fx plus e power x. Here, we take y is equal to fx. So we will be getting dy upon dx is equal to y into e power x plus e power x. So we can take e power x common. I think it's a simple question of variable separable then. We could have done it with the help of linear also, but I think with variable separable also we can do it easily. E power x into dx. Okay, its integration would be ln of mod y plus 1 is equal to e power x plus c. Now because at x is equal to 0, the value of function is 1. So we will be getting ln 2 here. As I put x is equal to 0, that will give you 1 here and c plus c. So we get c to be equal to ln of 2 minus 1. Okay, so now they are asking the function fx. Now it's a differentiable function, it has to be continuous function also. In my previous videos also I have told you that if we are given the value of y equal to 1, so although this mod can be opened on both sides of minus 1, because my value of y at some point is given to be 1, so I will consider this differentiable function to be such that y plus 1 is always positive, because at one point it is positive, so at every point it should be positive. Otherwise, if you try to take other part of this y plus 1, then at one point like minus 1, it will become discontinuous, then it will not be differentiable also. So here I'll consider y plus 1 to be positive, and this function then would be y plus 1 equal to e raised to the power x plus c, and c here is, I think, ln 2 minus 1. We can write it as e power ln 2 into e raised to the power x minus 1. E power ln 2 is 2, so this function would be 2 into e power x minus 1 minus 1. So I think answer for this is A. Okay, so moving to the next question, question number 35. We are given a system of equations. Okay, so for unique solution or no unique solution, I think we always check with the help of determinant. So here I will write these coefficients 1, 2, minus 3, and this 2, 6, minus 11, and this 1, minus 2, and 7. Okay, so we can check whether we are getting value to be 0 or not 0. I think there is no unknown here. Yeah, there is no unknown here, and this is 1 here. Okay, let me use first row to make 0 here. So what I will be doing, I will change R2 by R2 minus 2 times R1. So 0 here, 2 here, and I think 6, so minus 5 here. And this will be 0 here. I'll change R3 as R3 minus R1. So this is 0, and this will be minus 4. Okay, and this will be, I think, 10 here. Now you can see second row and third row are, I think, proportional. So this value becomes equal to 0. That means this cannot have unique solution. This option is wrong. Okay, and this option is also wrong, because if determinant value is 0, it cannot have unique solution. So either it will have no solution or it will have infinite solutions. Okay, now how to check it? You can do it with the help of cofactor method, Cramer's rule method also, but I will tell you some different method. Please see. If this is equal to 0, and because your all the coefficients you can see for x, y, z in first equation, the ratio for coefficient of x, y, z are 1 ratio 2 ratio minus 3. In second one, it is, I think, 2 ratio 6 ratio minus 11, and in the third case it is 1 ratio minus 2 ratio 7. So you can see these equations, if you consider them as equation of plane, they do not represent equation of parallel planes. So if this determinant is coming out to be 0, then for some values of a, b, c, there are chances that they will represent family of planes of some line of intersection. Okay, and if that is so, then all three planes will be meeting in infinite points, that is actually representing their common line of intersection. Okay, and if that is so, that means maybe by dividing by lambda here and multiplying this by mu here, we will be able to obtain my second equation. Okay, so what I mean to say that this is, let us say, plane P1, this is plane P2, and this is plane P3. Okay, so I am trying to obtain P3 with the help of lambda times P1 plus mu times P2. In that case, my coefficients can be compared and I will get lambda plus mu to be equal to 2 for x coefficient. For y, it is 2 lambda minus 2 mu is equal to 6. I think these two equations are sufficient to get the values of lambda and mu. Multiply this equation by 2 and add, so we will be getting 4 lambda is equal to, I think, 4 plus 6, 10. So we get lambda to be equal to, I think, 2.5. Okay, 2.5. And if I put this value here, so mu will be equal to minus half. Mu will be minus half. So what I'm trying to tell you, that this P3 is actually equal to P3 is equal to lambda times, lambda is what? 5 by 2 times P1 and minus 1 by 2 times P2. Now you can check that is true for Z coordinate also, Z coefficient also. 5 by 2 if you multiply here, so minus 15 by 2 and plus minus 7 by 2. So minus 15 minus 7 is minus 22 by 2, so minus 11 we are getting. So this is true for Z also. Now if everything is matching for X coefficient, Y coefficient, Z coefficient, then they will definitely represent common line of intersection provided your right side, that means the coefficient ABC are also satisfying this thing. That means your B should be equal to 5A upon 2 minus C upon 2. That means 5A equal to 2B plus C. So if that is also the condition that is also there, then you will get actually infinite solutions. So there will be infinite number of solutions when this condition is there. Okay, now saying no solution for all ABC will be wrong, because I can definitely choose ABC which are satisfying this relation and we will be getting solutions. So this option B is also wrong. Okay, you can do this question with the help of dx, dy, dz, which is given in the solution also like this. So this will also provide you, same answer. Okay, the answer here was, C. Coming to the next question, they are asking the sum of the series. Okay, this question is based on expansion of E. E power 1 is 1 plus 1 upon 1 factorial plus 1 upon 2 factorial plus 1 upon 3 factorial and so on. And E power minus 1 is 1 minus 1 upon 1 factorial plus 1 upon 2 factorial minus 1 upon 3 factorial and so on. Okay, now I will try to simplify this expression inside summation and then we will use this. Please see how. First of all, I am multiplying by 1 by 4 outside, so I will multiply by 4 inside also. So this will become 4n square plus 24n plus 40. Why I have done this? Please listen carefully. 2n plus 1 factorial. Okay, here we can write it as in sigma 2n plus 1 common. Okay, and 2n also common. So this 4n square is taken care of, plus 2n will be here, but I'm having 24n here. So I will need 22n also here, which I will write like 11 common 2n plus 1. So you can see the terms of n are taken care of. 2n plus 22n, 24n, and now constant term. It is 11 here and I need 40, so it will be plus 29. Okay, upon this 2n plus 1 factorial. Okay, let us do this calculation here. So 1 upon 4 summation, this first term will give you 1 upon 2n minus 1 factorial plus the second term will give you 11 upon 2n factorial, and this last thing will give you 29 upon 2n plus 1 factorial. Okay, and where n is starting from 1 to infinity. Now we can start writing value of n equal to 1, and for first term, so it will be 1 here because 1 upon 1 factorial, or maybe I will write 1 upon 1 factorial. If n is equal to 1, it will be 1 upon 1 factorial, then it will be 1 upon 3 factorial, then it will be 1 upon 5 factorial, and so on till infinity. The second term will give you, if you put n is equal to 1, 11 I can keep outside. So 1 upon 2 factorial plus 1 upon 4 factorial, 1 upon 6 factorial, and so on. Okay, and similarly, my third term, I will take 29 common. So it will start with 1 upon 3 factorial plus 1 upon 5 factorial and so on till infinity. Okay, here you can see from this relation which I have written here, I will write it here, that e minus e power minus 1. If you do, it will be equal to 2 times. So let us divide it by 2 also. It will be now 1 upon 1 factorial plus 1 upon 3 factorial and so on up to infinity. And if you add these two, e plus e power minus 1 and divide by 2, we will get 1 plus 1 upon 2 factorial and so on till infinity. So we can use these two things here, and you can see the first bracket here is actually e minus e power minus 1 upon 2, whereas inside this second bracket after 11 it is e plus e power minus 1 upon 2 minus 1. Okay, and for the last one it is actually e minus e power minus 1 by 2, but I think this 1 upon 1 factorial is also missing, so minus 1 I have to write like this. Okay, so now we can do the calculation for this e. So e by 2, 11 e by 2 and 29 e by 2. So it becomes 29 plus 11, 40, 40 plus 1, so 41 e by 2 here. For e power minus 1, I think this is minus half and this is minus 29 by 2, so minus 30 by 2 and plus 11. So minus 30 plus 11, I think minus 19 e power minus 1 by 2, and the constant term is I think minus 40 only. Minus 11 minus 29, so minus 40. I think we have to divide by 4 also. We will be getting 41 e by 8 and minus 19 by 8 e power minus 1 and minus 10. So seems like C should be the answer. Yeah, C is the answer because no other option is having like this. So C. Okay. Moving to this question number 37, we are given f123 be a function defined by fx is equal to this, where this denote GIF, and domain is just 1, 3. So this we can split into two parts. Fx we can split into two parts, one for 1 to 2 and then from 2 to 3. When 1 to 2, sorry, not like this, from 1 to 2 and close bracket at 2 here. So for this interval, the value of GIF will be just 1. So it becomes x upon x square plus 1. And here we will be getting 2x upon x square plus 1. Okay. Now we can draw the graph also, but let me tell you some different way. X upon x square plus 1, we can write it as 1 upon x plus 1 upon x. Okay. This x plus 1 upon x, you might be knowing it, that it is something that we can, with the help of AMGN, we can say it is always greater than or equal to 2. And this equality happens only at x is equal to 1. That means at x is equal to 1, it is having minimum value. For all values that are greater than 1, this x plus 1 upon x will be having more values than at x is equal to 1. This is a graph of y is equal to x plus 1 upon x actually. Okay, so this minima is at x is equal to 1, where you get value to be equal to 2. So what I am trying to tell you, that this x plus 1 upon x is actually increasing graph when you move from 1 to infinity. But here for this function we are having this x plus 1 upon x in the denominator and it is positive. That means this function should be decreasing function from 1 to 2. As you move from 1 to 2, it will be decreasing. And the second one is also just decreasing only because my x is starting from 2 to 3 and it is 2 times of what was there in the first part. So it will also be decreasing from 2 to 3. So we can find the values in two different portions for 1 to 2 because it is decreasing. So maximum value will come at 2, that will be 2 upon 5. Okay, with open bracket, and at 1 it is I think 1 upon 2. So it is it was decreasing. So at 2 it will be minimum, sorry, and at 1 it will be maximum. Likewise for this second part, the minimum value for this interval 2 to 3, it will be due to 3. So if you put 3 here, you will get 3 into 2, 6 upon 10. At 3 there will be open bracket, and at 2 if you put it here, 2 into 2, 4 upon 5. Okay, we have to take the union of these two, and you can see this first was 0.4 to 1, and this is 0.6 to I think 0.8. Okay, so their union would be I think I have done a mistake here. Yeah, the mistake here is that at 1 the value here would have been 1 by 2. So this was actually 0.4 to 0.5. 0.4 to 0.5, and from this interval we were getting 0.6 to 0.8. If we take the union, I think these two are different sets, isolated set you can say. So 0.4 to 0.5, or you can say 2 by 5 to 1 by 2, and union 3 by 5 to 4 by 5. So answer for this will be D. Okay, yeah, this is having different brackets. So answer is D. Now coming to the next question, that is question number 38. We have to find the length of perpendicular from the point on the straight line. Please see, in this question, I think in my previous paper also I gave you one method, that you take this point 2 comma minus 1 comma 4 here. Okay, and the point lying on the line, that is minus 3 comma 2 comma 0, can be considered here. That is, let us say B. Then I will take this projection of vector BA. Vector BA, the projection of BA I will take on this line, and we know the length AB. Then from Pythagoras theorem we can find this perpendicular distance. Okay, we need not to find this point M here. So this vector BA is actually minus 3 minus 2, so minus 5 I cap, and 2 plus 1, so 3 j cap, and 0 minus 4 k cap. Okay, and vector along the straight line is actually 10 I cap minus 7 j cap plus k cap. That is actually given by these direction ratios here. Now you can find this projection AM is equal to dot of these two, which is minus 50, minus 21, minus 4. I think we should take mod so that this length is positive, upon magnitude of this vector on which we are taking the projection. So it will be root of 150. This becomes 75. Okay, upon root, we can write it as 5 root, I think 6. Yeah, so this will be 15 upon root 6. Okay, now length AB also we can find. It is just the magnitude of this vector. Okay, that is 25 plus 25, I think root 50. So this D would be equal to under root of AB square minus AM square. That is 225 upon 6. So 300 minus this, so 75 upon 6. So 25 upon 2, so 5 upon root 2. So answer for this should be this. Okay, they are not asking exact value, they are saying less than or greater than something. So root 2 is 1.4, so that will be 1.4, I think 3 point something. Yeah, 3 point maybe 4 or something like that. So greater than 3 but less than 4 will be the answer. Less than 2 is wrong, greater than 2 but less than 3 is also wrong, greater than 4 is also wrong. So answer for this is A. Coming to question number 39. Here we are given a function fx which is continuous on R. Okay, so in such question we always check values and limits at these endpoints where definition is changing. At minus 1 minus, that is LHL at minus 1, the limit is I think 2. Sine pi by 2 is 1, so 2. And that should be equal to, at minus 1, this will give you A minus 1 plus B. And for 1, from this we will be getting mod of A plus 1 plus B. And on the right hand side it will be I think 0. So I think we are getting A plus B to be minus 1. And this A plus B is equal to minus 1 is also satisfying this first relation. So that means A plus B is equal to minus 1 is the answer. I think only right hand side limit was sufficient to find this value of A plus B. So question number 40, we are given for 3 positive real numbers ABC. Here you see, if you multiply 9 with 25, I think we will be getting 15A whole square plus 3B whole square, then 5C whole square minus, this is 25 into 3, that is 75, but I will write this AC as 15A into 5C, and then minus for AB I will write it as 15A and 3B, and then 15B into C I will write it as 3B into 5C is equal to 0. Now this is actually similar to that we do this in basic mathematics, that x square plus y square plus z square minus xy minus yz minus zx is greater than or equal to 0, and equal to 0 only if x is equal to y is equal to 0. X is equal to y is equal to z. Why? Because this expression, if you multiply by half and multiply by 2 inside, becomes x minus y whole square plus y minus z whole square plus z minus x whole square. Okay, which has to be greater than or equal to 0, and equality can happen only if all three brackets are 0, 0, 0. So x equal to y equal to z. So here what we should get? We should get 15a equal to 3b is equal to 5c. Let us say this is some 45k. Okay, why I have taken the 45? So that my calculation will become easier. A will be equal to 3k, B will be equal to 15k, and C will be equal to, I think, 9k. So you can see B, C, A, starting with B, then C, and then A. So 9 minus 6, sorry, 15 minus 6, 9, 9 minus 6, 3. So B, C, A are in AP. Other order, they are not in AP, like ABC is not in AP, obviously, and GP is not there. So answer is A. Now question number 41. Here we are given rate of growth of bacteria in a culture is proportional to number of bacteria present. So they are saying that suppose bacteria present at any time is n, then dn upon dt is actually equal to k times n. So using the differential equation, we can write it as like this. So we get ln n is equal to kt plus some constant c. So this n will become equal to, I think, e raised to the power c into e raised to the power kt. Now to find this c and k, we are given some initial conditions. Like at t equal to 0, the bacteria count is 1000. Okay, so this n will be 1000 when t is equal to 0. So e power c becomes equal to 1000. So from that we get n to be equal to 1000 into e power kt. Also we are given that number of bacteria is increased by 20% in 2 hours. So this n will be actually equal to 1200 because it increases by 20%. So 1200 at t is equal to 2. So 1000 into e power 2k. So from this we get e power 2k to be equal to 1.2. Now next thing they are asking, this population of bacteria is 2000. So n is equal to 2000 is equal to 1000 times e power kt. At which time this will be 2000? That is what we have to find. So this e power kt is equal to 2. Okay, where e power 2k is 1.2. What I can do for this? I can write it as e power 2k whole power t by 2 is equal to 2. E power 2k is 1.2. So we will be getting t by 2. This will be 1.2. 1 minute. Yeah, e power 2k because yeah, 2k is equal to 1 upon 2. 1.2 actually. So this will be is equal to 2. So from that we get t by 2 to be equal to log of 2 to the base 1.2. I think they have given to the base e. So we should convert these bases to e. So we can write it as ln of 2 here and ln of 1.2 here. That is actually 6 by 5. This 2 I can multiply here. So comparing these two, I think we are getting k to be equal to, so this k is coming out to be 2 ln 2. So k upon ln 2 will be 2 and its square will be equal to 4. So answer for this question will be D. Actually k upon ln 2 whole square is what they are asking. So that will be equal to 2 square, that is 4. So this question number 42, we are given a and b, two non-zero vectors perpendicular to each other, and mod a is equal to mod b, and a cross b is equal to a. So please listen carefully. If a and b are perpendicular to each other, that means a cross b has to be equal to mod a mod b into sine theta, and sine here is sine theta, theta is 90, so that will be mod a mod b only. But we are given this to be equal to mod a, which means mod b will be equal to 1, non-zero vector, so this will not be 0, so this is 1. But mod b mod a, they both are equal, so this is equal to mod a also. So that means they both are actually unit vectors and they are perpendicular vectors. So in such questions, I think you can think of a to be I cap, b to be j cap, and a cross b to be k cap. Otherwise also we can do, we have to find the angle between the vector this and this. I think this will be done with the help of dot product. So this is one vector and this is other vector. So cos theta will be equal to dot of these two, which is just 1 here, because a dot a is 1, rest other are 0. A dot b 0, because they are perpendicular. A cross b is always perpendicular to a, so it is just 0, upon magnitude of vector a, that is 1, and magnitude of this also, that is a plus b plus a cross b. Now to find this magnitude of this, I think we can use analogy of I cap plus j cap plus k cap, whose magnitude is nothing but root over 1 plus 1 plus 1, 1 square plus 1 square plus 1 square, because they are three mutually perpendicular vector. So we can definitely do this way also. So here cos theta will be equal to 1 upon root 3. So answer here is B. Okay, sine inverse 1 upon root 6, I think cos inverse 1 upon root 3. If you write in terms of sine theta, it will be, I think, 2 upon root 3. Root 2 upon root 3 actually. So in terms of sine inverse, I think this is not matching. Why I am doing it? Just to ensure that no other option is also not correct. Yeah. So B is the answer. The maximum value of the term independent of t in the expansion of this. Okay. Now independent term of t means, because both t here and here are having, power 1 and power minus 1 here. So in the mid term actually, that is given by 6th term, because it is having total 11 terms. So 6th term, that is 10c5, and it will be t into x power 1 upon 5 raised to the power 5 here, and 1 minus x raised to the power 1 upon 10 upon t whole raised to the power 5 here, will give you term independent of t. I have used symmetry. You can use general term also and then make power of t to be 0, and then you can see it is coming in the 6th term only. So this 6th term independent of t is coming out to be 10c5 into x here and 1 minus x raised to the power 1 upon 2 here. Now t is between 0 to 1. So we have to find the maximum value of this, and to find this maximum value, what I will do, I will use AMGM. Please see, the square of this is actually x square into 1 minus x. I can write them as x into 1 minus x. Rather, I will do this as x by 2 and multiply by 4 outside. Now on this term, inside this bracket, I will use AMGM. Okay, this is actually, these are three terms whose product is x by 2, 1 minus x. Their GM would be this power 1 upon 3. And their AM would be this plus this plus this. And you can see this comes out to be just 1 and divided by 3, so that AM is taken. X by 2 plus x by 2 plus 1 minus x is 1. So this is what we are getting. That means this x by 2 into x by 2 into 1 minus x is always less than or equal to 1 upon 27. So this thing will be, less than or equal to 4 times 1 upon 27. So 4 upon 27. And this is under root of this thing. So can I say that minimum of x into 1 minus x power 1 by 2, not minimum, actually maximum. This will be less than or equal to, I think, 4 upon 27 under root. Okay, so the maximum actually, so the maximum here would be 10c5, that is 10 factorial upon 5 factorial, 5 factorial, and here we will be getting 2 in the numerator and 3 root 3 in the denominator. So it will be 10 factorial upon 5 factorial square and 2 upon 3 root 3. So answer is B. I think other options are not matching. Yeah, so answer is B. Now question number 44. A is a symmetric matrix of order 2 with integer entries. Okay, we can take A to be A, B, B, C, so that it is symmetric. Okay, if sum of diagonal elements of A square. Now what is A square if you calculate? And I will only find diagonal elements. So first row, first column, we will be getting A square plus B square here. And for this element, second row, second column. So we will be getting B square plus C square. So sum of diagonal elements will be A square plus 2B square plus C square. And we are given this to be equal to 1, where all the entries A, B, C, D, A, B, C are integer. So this is equal to 1 only if, first of all, your B square has to be equal to 0, because if B is non-zero and it is integer, then 2B square itself will be at least 2. We cannot have this to be 1. And other two also to be greater than or equal to 0. So this is not possible unless B is equal to 0. Now, so we will be having either A square is equal to 0, then B and C both will be 0. And here we will be getting two cases. a square is equal to 1, not 0. A square is equal to 1, then b and c both will become 0, 0, and we will be getting two cases here for a equal to 1 and a equal to -1. Similarly, if you take c square to be 1, then b and a both will become equal to 0, 0. And here also we will be getting two cases because c can be 1 or -1 also. So total number of cases are 4. So answer for this question will be B. That is the method for this question. Now here we are given A as, a set, finite set, 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. Okay, A to A, and it is defined like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. It is k plus 1 if k is odd. So for 1, the value should be 2. Okay, and if k is even, then it is k. So for 2 also it will be 2 only. Likewise for 3 it will be 4, and 4 also it will be 4. So you can see for this function f, all values are connected to even values on the codomain 2, 4, and so on. Now they are asking a function g that is also from A to A. This was f function, g function, so that g of f is equal to f. So g of fx is equal to fx. Okay, so what should be the conditions? Please see. If I put x is equal to 1, okay, f1 is already 2. So g of 2 should be equal to f of 1 if I put x is equal to 1, and f of 1 is 2. So g of 2 should be equal to 2. If I put x is equal to 2, then also we get g of 2 only, because f of 2 is 2, that is equal to f of 2, that is also 2. Likewise, if you see, I think we will be getting g2 to be equal to 2. Similarly, g4 to be equal to 4, g6 to be equal to 6, g8 to be equal to 8, and g10 to be equal to 10. But there is no condition on g1, g4, or g3, g5, and so on. Okay, for these we have no condition, because to match this condition, g1, g3 can be anything. Okay, so these values for g1, 3, 5 can be matched to any values in the codomain A, and codomain A is having 10 elements. So for every element I am having 10 options. So it will be actually 10 into 10 into 10 into 10 5 times. So answer should be, I think, A, that is 10 power 5. Now coming to question number 46, we have to find mod A if roots of this 5 degree equation lies in the interval a comma a plus 1. Now because it's a 5 degree polynomial, it has to have at least one real root. But what will be this real root? Let us try to understand. One thing is very clear, because all coefficients are positive, so it cannot have positive root. It has to have negative real root. Now to find how many roots it can have, we will do the differentiation of this, which gives you 10 times x power 4 plus 20x cube plus 30x square plus 20x plus 10. Now you can see the coefficients from both ends are same, like 20, 20, 30. So in such question, we can take x square common, and we will be getting x square plus 1 upon x square from first and last term, plus 2 into x plus 1 upon x from the second and second last term, plus 3. Now this gives you 10 times x square, and this will be x plus 1 upon x whole square, plus 2 into x plus 1 upon x, and from this 3 I have taken 2 with this to make it perfect square, plus 1. Now you can see it is becoming 10 times x square into x plus 1 upon x plus 1 whole square. In fact, that is the whole square of 10 times x square plus x plus 1 whole square. But we may not observe this thing directly from here. This was a logical way of doing the same thing. So we can see this f dash is always positive. In fact, this x square plus x plus 1 is also a positive expression. This is a quadratic whose b is negative, so this is always positive. So this 5 degree polynomial will be strictly increasing like this. Now here we can see the value at 0 is already 10, that is positive. Now we can check value at x is equal to -1. Okay, at -1 you can see it is actually -2 plus 5 minus 10 plus 10 minus 10 and again plus 10. So this 10 cancels, and we are getting this value to be positive. So at -1 also we are getting positive. We can put x is equal to -2. See, here there is no rule. You have to keep putting and you have to check when it is going to be negative. But I think this is not going to last forever because these numbers are not that big, these coefficients are not that big. So if you keep decreasing value of x, you will definitely find this value to be negative at some point. Like -2 if you put, you will be getting, I think, -64 plus 80 minus I think 80 once again, plus 40 minus 20 plus 10. So this 80 gets cancelled and we are getting 40 plus 10, 50 minus 20, 30. So that is, I think, minus 34. Minus 64 plus 30 is minus 34. So this value at -2 is negative. Okay, negative, that means the root will be lying in the interval -2 to -1. So the value of a will be -2 and hence mod a will be equal to 2. Okay, so this is how this question is done. Now coming to question number 47. Here we are given x1, x2, x3 and so on x18. There are 18 observations such that this is equal to 36 and this sum of squares is equal to 90, alpha, beta distinct real numbers. See, there is a property in the standard deviation and variance that if you subtract each data like x1, x2 up to x18 by a constant number, your variance doesn't change. So here, if I find variance for x1, x2 or I find for x1 minus beta, x2 minus beta and so on, then also variance will be same. So using this property, we will be getting 1 is equal to summation I is equal to 1 to 18 xi minus beta whole square upon 18 minus summation xi minus beta. Here also I am taking beta so that entire data set is now xi minus beta. I is equal to 1 to 18 upon 18 and here whole square of this thing. Okay, and this thing is given us as 90, so 90 upon 18 is 5. Okay, and in this bracket I will use some manipulation because we are given xi minus alpha. So in this sigma I will write xi minus alpha plus alpha minus beta upon 18. Okay, now sigma of this thing is given as 36 and if we divide it by 18, we will be getting inside this bracket this to be 2 and this alpha minus beta being added 18 times for I equal to 1 to 18 and divided by 18 will give us alpha minus beta only whole square. So from here we are getting this 2 plus alpha minus beta whole square to be equal to 5 minus 1, that is 4. So 2 plus alpha minus beta will be either 2 or minus 2. Because alpha and beta are distinct real numbers, so we cannot take this to be equal to 2, otherwise alpha will become equal to beta. So from here we are getting alpha minus beta to be equal to minus 4. So mod of this will be equal to 4. So this is how this question is solved. Now coming to question number 48. We are given alpha and beta be two real numbers such that alpha plus beta is equal to 1, alpha beta is equal to minus 1 and Pn is equal to this thing. Pn minus 1 is 11 and Pn plus 1 is 29. Now to do this question, first I will create a quadratic whose roots are alpha and beta. So from sum of roots and product of roots, we can say the quadratic would be x square minus x minus 1 equal to 0. Now there is a Newton formula that whenever you are having a sequence like Pn is equal to a into alpha power n plus b into beta power n, here a and b are 1 1. But a and b, even if they are not 1 1, then also this kind of quadratic and Pn, they give you recurrence relation in Pn. We can write this Pn minus 1 minus Pn minus 2 equal to 0. If Pn is given by this, then this term having highest degree, it is having degree 2, this is having degree 1 and this is having degree 0. So here these degrees are increasing in the power, but here we are changing these number n in the suffix. Here Pn, here Pn minus 1 and here Pn minus 2. Constants, coefficients actually remain same. And this can be proved with the help of putting roots here, adding them and getting this Pn. I think you can prove it. Now they are giving us Pn plus 1 is equal to 29. Okay, so here first of all what I will do, instead of Pn I will write Pn plus 1 here, then this will be Pn and this will be Pn minus 1 equal to 0. Now Pn plus 1 is 29. Pn we have to find, Pn minus 1 is 11 is equal to 0. So we get Pn to be equal to I think 18. So we have to find Pn square, that is 18 square, I think that is 324 for 18 square. So moving to the next question, that is 49, we have to find the shortest distance between the lines. So that's a formula based question. For this line, you can see the point lying on it is alpha comma 2 comma 2, and direction ratios of this line are 1 comma minus 2 comma 2. For second line, the point is minus 4 comma 0 comma minus 1, and direction ratios are 3 comma minus 2 comma minus 2. Now shortest distance is given by the scalar triple product of three vectors. The first vector being found by taking difference of these 2 points, that is alpha minus minus plus, so 4, 2 minus 0 and 2 plus 1, that is 3. And second row being first direction ratio of line, third row is direction ratio of second line, that is 3 minus 2 minus 2. Okay, and here it is magnitude of cross product of vectors that represent the direction of line 1 and line 2. So it will be I, j, k, and here we will get 1 minus 2 2 and 3 minus 2 2, and we have to take the mod of the entire thing. Okay, now I will first find the vector in the denominator. This will be minus 4 minus 4. I think this is 0, so there is no coefficient of I cap. Is that right? Because 1 minus 2 2, yeah, that is, wait, I think I have written it wrong because it is minus 2 here. So then it is not 0, it will be 2 into 2 4, 4 plus 4 8, 8 I cap here, and for j it will be minus 2 minus 6, so minus 8, it will become plus 8, and for k it will be minus 2 plus 6, minus 2 plus 6, so it will be plus 4 k cap, magnitude of this. And now please listen carefully. In this scalar triple product, you can think of this first row is actually multiplied with or dot multiplied with the cross product of the next 2 rows. So what I can do, I can make use of these 2 rows cross product and dot multiply with first row. So this alpha plus 4 will multiply with 8. So we will be getting 8 alpha plus 32, and this 8 multiplied with 2, so 16, and this 4 multiplied with 3, so 12. And this is equal to, they have given as 9. Okay, let us do this calculation here. I think we can divide by 4 at least. Yeah, so this will be 2 alpha plus this will be 8, this will be 4, this will be 3, and upon magnitude of the vector, that is 2 2 1, that will be 4 plus 4 plus 1 after dividing by 4 here, and this is equal to 9. So we get 2 alpha plus 8 plus 4 plus 3 is I think 15. So mod of this will be equal to 9 into 3 27. So 2 alpha is equal to either 27 minus 15 or minus 27 minus 15, and we are given alpha being I think positive. So we will not consider this, we will only consider this. So we get alpha to be equal to 27 minus 15, that is 12 upon 2. So alpha will be equal to 6. So answer for this question should be 6. Okay, now coming to the last question, that is 50th. Here we are given z and omega be two complex numbers such that omega is equal to this thing and this mod is equal to 1. Okay, I will start with this because if this is the condition, then we can say mod of z plus iota equal to mod of z minus 3 iota, which means this z will be such that its distance from minus iota and from 3 iota will be same. That means this z should be a line that is perpendicular bisector of line joining these 2 points, and their midpoint will be I think just iota. So this line would be actually y equal to 1. Okay, so I can say, so this z should be such that it is equal to x plus 1 into iota. Its imaginary part should be equal to 1. Now for omega, if I take this to be equal to a plus iota b, this is equal to z bar. That means it will be x square plus 1 minus 2 into x plus iota plus 2. Okay. So from this we get a, that is the real part of omega to be equal to x square minus 2x plus 3. Okay, minimum value of real part of w or omega, actually it has minimum value. It has minimum value which is actually possible if x is equal to 1, and then it will be just equal to 2 at x is equal to 1. It's a quadratic. upward parabola at x is equal to 1, it will have minimum value. So this omega actually, omega will be equal to A is 2, and to find B, okay, let us compare imaginary part also, that is B equal to minus 2 iota, that is minus 2 iota here. Yeah, that's it. So this W is coming out to be 2 plus minus 2 iota. So you can take 2 common, it will be 1 minus iota. Now they are saying we have to find minimum value of n, that is natural number, so that omega power n is real. Now you can see omega square is 2 into, I think, minus 2 iota. 1 plus iota square is 0, minus 2 iota, that is minus 4 iota. So I think minimum value of this, so that omega power n is real, will be when n is equal to 4, then it will become, I think, minus 60. They are asking real. Okay, for power 3, once again you will find some terms of iota, so that will not be real. So that is the value of omega power 4. So n has to be 4 here. Okay, so this completes all the solution of this paper. Thank you so much, all of you. I'll be coming with few more solutions. I'll be in touch with you. Thank you so much. All the best and take care, bachcho. Thank you.